in his head a little bit. It's hard not to be. But what really can you do at this point to adjust? All the settings are pretty much determined.
It's really tricky to reset that now. He'll get another chance when he does the formation lap start. He starts from the front, so he gets the full launch, and he will have to use that to try and just get a good one before the race start. He knows what he needs to do. The team have worked on it a load in the last month, but executing it when you're looking up at the lights, your heart is pumping, it's really difficult. And he knows now with the pace of the McLarens, the pace of the Ferraris, the pace of Max, a bad start can cost him like it did yesterday.
Just a quick word on Franco Colapinto, James, as well, because the stands are full of his fans. He has got a lot of support, hasn't he?
A lot of Argentinian flags in the stands, and I interviewed him for the driver's parade, and that was by far the biggest cheer from this front straight grandstand. And I got to just give a little love to him while he's not here so his head doesn't get big. A lot of Colombian fans in the stands still for Montoya, which is pretty impressive, but definitely a lot of Franco Colapinto supporters here this weekend. Yeah,
and he's qualified quite well for this race. It'll be very interesting to see what he can do, but the stands are full here. We're building up to the Miami Grand Prix. Do not go anywhere. And still there, waiting for us, is our most enthusiastic commentator, Alex Jakes. Here we go, Alex. What are you watching now?
So, welcome back to Green Light. Lewis Hamilton's back again. Everyone's queuing up. So let's take you to where they're starting the cars. We're going to go past all the expectations for the drivers and the personnel going on the grid. We're going to go past the marshals, and we're going to take you to the actual practice start point to show you the real thing. Here we go. This is where they're making their practice start from. Listen in. Lewis Hamilton with his hand high on the steering wheel. That's how he's always done it. That's how he still does it. How good was that Ferrari? My word, that was rocket stuff as we've come to expect. Let's see it again. Okay, the 2 spots in place. Isaac Hadjar chucked out of qualifying. He will start from the back. That's okay. Now, the 2 McLarens next up. Oscar Piastri. The revs rise. Again. Okay, the 2 spots in place. Isaac Hadjar. The revs rise. My word. 12,000 RPM. He's the world champion. That was superlative. The McLarens and the Ferraris absolutely excellent with their getaways from the practice starts. They're hovering around 12,000 RPM when they get that launch off the line. Absolutely astonishing sound down here at Green Light.
So we've moved around the grid just a little bit. We're now outside Audi. They've had a really difficult weekend, haven't they, James? But Nico Hülkenberg, very used to starting P11. I mean, that's one of the certainties in this sport at the moment, isn't it? He's now P10 because of Hadjar's disqualification, Hadjar's starting where he is. So, what is this a really good chance for Audi to score points?
It is a decent chance for them to score points, and they'll really want to salvage this weekend because it's been a rough one. You had the issue for Hülkenberg, I think it's an engine failure. Then we had the brake issue with Bortoletto, at the DSQ for Bortoletto. There's been a lot that's gone wrong, but at the end of the day, this is the session that counts the most. So if they can salvage it, give new team manager, racing director Alan McNish a little boost, a little bump on his first weekend on the job, that could be a good thing.
They need to get off the line as well. They've got good pace. Nico has definitely got the potential to win the points. He's had race pace so far this year, but he's got no points. So if he can get off the line sensibly, a little bit like Kimi and Mercedes, they've been working on it pretty aggressively in the last month, then they'll be in a position to try and get something at the end of this one.
Well, let's turn our attention now to Haas, who have had a really impressive start to the season. They're out there in the constructors, shocking quite a lot of people, but this weekend hasn't quite been the best weekend for them. Let's hear how Ollie Behrman is feeling.
Ollie Behrman, we are here finally in Miami after a bit of an unexpected break. How was your 5 weeks off? What'd you get up to?
Yeah, it was definitely an unplanned break, like you said. It almost felt longer because I wasn't ready for it, you know, and definitely after 2 weeks I was ready to get back racing.
It's been such a strong start to the season for the team, for you. Was that performance level, was that a surprise to you and to the team?
It's certainly been a surprise, and I don't think we're the fourth fastest car. You know, we've benefited from misfortune of others, and that's not me being negative, that's me being realistic. But it's definitely going to be close competition with the rest of the midfield, and I've been really happy with the start that we made, particularly given, first of all, the scale of our team. There's no hiding behind that.
Right.
Second of all, how late we developed. So, you know, the odds were stacked against us, and we still arrived with a car which is at least fifth fastest.
First proper street circuit of the season. Do you think there's any unique challenges with this new reg set, how these cars drive on this type of track?
When you came to a track like this last year, you would kind of know what to expect. Now with these new regs, you're kind of a bit more in the dark, which is an interesting feeling for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Yo, welcome ladies and gentlemen to the most professional racing on the planet. Formula One is back. Yes, it is actually still a thing. We are here live for the Miami Grand Prix. Man, there has been a lot of drama in the Formula One world. Holy crap. I don't know if you caught my video about the drama that has been ensuing in the scandals outside of the track. That's been going on inside Formula One. It's been wild. There's been some accusations of some weird things with some Formula One drivers involved in some major scandals. Alright, there's been some crazy developments across the teams. McLaren is at the top. I don't know what happened in the sprint race. Things are all over the place. Regulations are changing quicker than Sabrina Carpenter changes her outfits during a performance. So all sorts of weird stuff is happening in the Formula One world. But if you are new here, welcome to the most professional driving on the planet. I hope your Sunday is going well. If it's not, I hope it gets just a little bit better. Yeah, because I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have to stream this. But anyway, if you're new here, welcome to the stream. We got the top, as you can see at the top, we got our track. That's a live track feed. This side, this side here is all of the race control messages, and where you see the Miami GIF playing is all the the track leader sector times and stuff like that. Okay, it'll tell you humidity on the track, pit times, intervals, all of that stuff. But we're just gonna talk while they do their they're just kind of initial testings. Everyone gets their shit together. But yes, welcome to some unhinged commentary. If you hate watching or listening to the English commentators glaze their English drivers, well, you've come to the right place, ladies and gentlemen, because I like to swear and insult Lance Stroll on a daily race basis. Alright, because Lance Stroll sucks, and that's just the way it is, and I will never stop saying that because he sucks. It's just the way it is. But anyway, I hope you're having a good Sunday. I hope this is going to be a good race. Okay, I was really shocked to see the McLarens out front, especially Lando winning by such a large margin. It was a bit worrying because we had some really exciting races in the first 3 races. We had a lot of overtakes, more overtaking than I've seen since 2021 with Max versus Lewis. So it was really, really interesting, but there's been so many regulation changes they've taken. It looks like they've fixed the super clipping issue. From what I've seen in qualifying, people are definitely getting to max pace by the end of the straight. So it looks like the super clipping issue has been solved, but they're also taking away direct kilowatt injection from some parts of the car, and they're injecting it in other places of the car, like following speed has been reduced, but max power output has been increased. So it's a very weird last minute and ahhing kind of change in the regulations. It feels like the cars are nerfed. Like, quite frankly, when I watched qualifying, it felt like the cars have been, that race, the sprint race, it felt like the cars had been a little nerfed. I'm not going to lie, because the following speeds all kind of evened out, and there was no real overtaking in the front 6. So I don't quite really know what's happening with the regulations. It's hard to really judge now, coming out of such a long break. At the beginning of a season is it kind of throws a spanner in the works, because we normally get that break mid-season, and now we've had this 5-week break where teams have really been able to invest in like an early, synopsis of what's kind of happened in the sport. So we're getting these like really weird results where, teams that aren't supposed to be on top are on top, and yeah, there's all sorts of stuff happening. But I'm not gonna lie, guys. If you were an Audi investor, just put yourself in their shoes. You're an Audi investor. You invest like, I don't know, what, 50 million into a Formula One team, right? And in the 5-week break after you come back, you see your car on fire on the track. It can't instill a level of confidence in investors, is what I'm gonna say. So it's quite wild. But we now, I mean, we now got 2 American teams in the sport. That's Haas and, oh my God, why am I skipping out? Cadillac, Haas and Cadillac. So it's becoming very Americanified. My wife actually brought this up, and so we've got more American tracks on the schedule. So it's a bit strange. I think it's still predominantly a European ownership, management side of things, but it feels like, I hope it doesn't go down the route of being Americanized, because I like the European version of it. That's just me. What do you guys think? You think Formula One's going to become Americanized? I don't know. Yes, but we got to talk about Ferrari as well. Lots of major upgrades in Ferrari. I don't know if you've seen the gap in their rear wing compared to Red Bull's. Red Bull's is like a lot bigger, in that rotating rear wing. So a lot of aerodynamic play happening there. So we're going to have to find out what the heck they're going to be doing there. But yeah, we're waiting. Everyone is still on track. We got a bunch of celebrities there who probably know nothing about Formula One and are there for clout, because that's the world we live in. Yay! We don't need to see that anymore. Let's get to the track sector times. Make sure you guys can see everything. As I can say here, I think a good thing to do here is just have a look at the weather, because they moved the race 3 hours forward. Now, this is a live radar of the weather over Miami at the moment, and there is some crazy weather happening. I don't know if it's going to hit over the track. Now, this is only till 2 o'clock p.m. their time. So I don't know, there are some major cells down on the left. So we may see some rain later on during the race, which it always adds some interesting elements. I love to see Lance Stroll crash in the rain. It's like my favorite thing of Formula One. So you will see what happens. But this live radar feed seems like it's not over. The track is here somewhere. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. I don't know Miami very well, but it's at the International Aerodrome. So we'll see how this plays out, and if we see some rain over the track. It does look relatively stable, that side. Whether we're going to get rain, I don't really know, but we'll see how that plays out. Rain is always a good element for Formula One. It always brings the skill out. So hopefully we see something interesting happen with the weather. But it looks like a good track so far. 33 degrees on track, 26 degrees normal air, 70% humidity. Oh, that's nothing. You live in Durban, bro. We got 94% humidity. It's like a wall of soup hitting you in the face. It's terrible. My God. We got 11.5 kilometer wind. Yeah, so it looks like relatively stable track conditions. Whether we're going to see rain or not, I don't know. I really hope we do, because rain always separates the wussies from the real drivers. Okay? It's the only time. Now, man, oh man, Max Verstappen. There's so much happening in the grid that I am confused about, because in free practices, the Ferraris were on top. Okay? And which is I was hoping for. And George Russell has been dominating in the first 3 races. Now, there were some subtle regulation hints that Mercedes literally got shafted by some of the rule changes. I don't know the specifics or the engineering behind it, but there's a specific oil ratio within the engines, and Mercedes was apparently abusing this ratio mix or something along those lines. Please forgive me, I'm butchering it, but somewhere along the lines that changed, and it really hurt Mercedes' performance. Now, Mercedes is still performing well, but if we look at George, my boy George, okay, boy George was a gay icon. George might be a gay icon somewhere. Who knows? Somewhere out there he might be. But George is, he's fallen behind. And it doesn't really make much sense, because if you look at what's happening, these guys just glaze Kimi Antonelli like it's going out of fashion. I mean, everywhere I look, it's just Kimi Antonelli. Like, this guy is like the next, god tier driver. And it's pretty wild to me because George has been holding Mercedes up for the last couple of years, if you want me to be honest. So it's a bit strange that George is kind of, his performance is just nosedived. It's especially so early on. Okay, sure, granted, we've had a 5-week gap for teams to really do some research and development, but damn, falling off a cliff that hard is a bit hard to watch. Like, it's nuts, because when he left Williams and went to Mercedes, he got stuck in 5th position. And that was like his consistent, he was 5th or above. And now at Mercedes again, now he seems, that 5th position keeps sneaking back, and he keeps sneaking into that position. I don't know what's going on with George. I hope he comes through, because I believe he's got the pace. And people hate George Russell, okay? I feel like they take everything he says out of context, to be honest. He's got this weird tone, and then people make up whatever tone he has. But George has a great strategy mind. He many times has called his own strategies that has put him on podiums many times. So I don't think you can count George out. Now Max, on the other hand, Red Bull is clearly all over the place. They're losing team engineers. GP is leaving to go to McLaren. There's all sorts of troubles and woes currently hitting Red Bull. But one thing you can count on is you can never count Max Verstappen out. That guy will put 5,000% into that car, okay? And for him to be on P2 is also a benchmark, because I don't believe the Red Bulls belong in P2 at the moment. So for him to be there, I think it's going to be a very interesting start, because let's just look at the lineup here. We got Antonelli in first on the inside, okay? We got Verstappen second on the outside, Leclerc third, Norris fourth, then Russell on the inside at 5th position. Now, if I was George, there's a point for capitalization, because Max in the sprint got toothpasted between the Alpine and Hamilton and came out on top because he could handle Hamilton, forgivingly gave him some space, which is what we really need. So gave him a bit of space into that first corner, and Max was able to squeeze out almost 3 positions. So I think, Norris and Russell are in a good position to kind of take advantage of something happening up at the top. Now, again, Kimi Antonelli hasn't been doing well with his starts. This is something we've seen more often than not, that he's just not getting off the line quick enough to capitalize on his pure race pace, which is a problem for Mercedes. You can't claim that you can't glaze this guy, like a spring donut, and then he bonks it on the grid start. I don't know what terminology I'm using here, but just deal with it, okay? Okay, this is Unhinged Formula One commentary. Welcome. I'm going to be talking a lot of shit during this stream, because that's what I do, and that's why you're here, right? Right? So subscribe and like. That'd be great. Be really, really awesome. This is all I have left, ladies and gentlemen, so any support would be helpful. I'd like to eat at the end of the month. Thank you very much. Speaking of eating, I have a burger. I normally have snacks. Okay, I normally have chips and stuff for the race, but it's a bit later, and this is dinner. I have a mushroom jalapeno cheeseburger, right? With a sesame crusted bun roll. It's insane. I'm very excited to munch on that a bit later. But we're doing down the grid walk here at the moment. Let's just have a look down at the bottom. The Cadillacs and the Audis having an atrocious free practice and a terrible qualifying somehow ended up in 10th position. I don't know how Hülkenberg is in 10th position, but they're there. And also, a swan song here today is the Alpines. The Alpines are in 8th and 9th. I think the bosses at Alpine were like, boys, if you don't get your shit together, we're going to can you. So I think that the Alpine boys have got the fear of God put in them, and they're starting to race, which is why they are currently in 8th and 9th position, which I don't think they should be there. But I mean, hopefully we see something interesting. Again, I don't really rate Colapinto. I think he's a bit nervous on the stick for some reason. I don't know what it is about Colapinto. He has these brief moments of like, holy shit, he's driving well, but then he ends up in the wall, or he does some really silly maneuvers. So I don't know about Colapinto. But Gasly, I think he'll do well. Hulkenberg, Lawson down in 11, Berman in 12th. The Haas are coming up, hey? I remember when I first started watching Formula 1, Haas were the worst team on the grid. And these guys are consistently putting it above 12th, 13th position, which is it's impressive to say the least. Carlos Sainz and Albon 13th and 15th respectively. Lindblad down in 16th. Alonso and Stroll down in 17th and 18th. Bottas and Perez in 19th and 20th. Ugh. Hadjar he did not get disqualified. Hadjar had some technical what's the word? Give it to me. Come on, chat. What's the word? I'm blanking here. Hadjar had some technical issues not issues, but some problems. No, not problems. The word will come to me. But he's starting from the pit lane. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Isaac Hadjar is starting from the pit lane. Again, this is the if you're new here, this is the track time, sector limits, and everything you need to know about laps, intervals, what tires they're on. All of that stuff. This is obviously your track where you can obviously track what's happening on Track Live. And this is all your race control messages that you can see here. Alright. They are singing the national anthems. We're about to get this race underway. I'm excited. I hope we have a good race today. I hope it's not boring. Otherwise, I might eat my burger halfway through this race. And let's see. Let's take some bets. Is Lance Stroll going to crash this race? I say yes. I say Lance Stroll. If you look at the track here, you can see turn 19 here. Obviously, the track is going this way. The track, if you look at the track at the top, it's going the opposite way. Fuck. It's going this way. Going this way. So for turn 1 down here, turn 2, turn 3. I think a lot of the issues are going to come down into turn 17. Turn 17, and I think 15 and 16 as well is also going to be a contentious area where people might have sniffs of overtake. Obviously, the overtake is down the main straight, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I think Lance Stroll is going to crash in this area. Man, if Lance Stroll ever watches my stream, bro, it's not that I don't like you as a person. I just think you're a terrible Formula 1 driver. It's just that simple, okay? Risk of rain for the F1 race is now 40%, ladies and gentlemen. 40%, as you can see from race control, it is telling you 40% risk of rain for the track. We have a B-2 stealth bomber. Only in America will they fly a warplane over a Formula 1 track. Holy shit. I mean, come on. What are you doing? Holy shit. How do you fly an F1 bomber over a Formula 1 track? Okay, that's cool, bro. You want to do that? I can't stop you, eh? No one can apparently stop you because America! I don't hate America. I like America. They've given us some cool stuff. They're wild, okay? They're crazy. Americans are crazy. It's the way it is. But yeah, we'll see. I hope this... I've turned into a vampire. I don't know what's happened with my camera. But my camera turns me into a vampire. I swear to God, I'm not this pale, okay? My camera does this for some reason. Anyway, but yeah, I think expectations for the race today is... I want to see some good following. If we get to a situation where the leader of the race is 12 seconds ahead with in the first 8 laps, I think that's going to spell doom for the rest of the season, because that is the trap that we've fallen into so many times in the Formula 1 seasons that we've watched, where a team, a driver, a car get really, great technology, or they figure out something new, and then the car explodes off the track and you never see them again for the rest of the season. Or, Max wins by 5 races. I don't think any of us really want to see that anymore. We don't want to fall asleep on our couch after the first 15 minutes of the race, which I did many times last year. Let me just tell you that right now. Okay? So I'm hoping that we see some explosive chasing, some really good overtakes. I think, some good strategy would also really... That's obviously always a play within here. But I think we're all screaming for exciting races. So let's see how these regulations play out this race, because this is the real test here. After a 5-week break and all of the drama and all of the research and development that all the teams are doing, and oh my God, and McLaren's giant upgrade and the package that they've made, they clearly on form. But then Mercedes is coming back as well, but Ferrari is really performing well. Their aerodynamics is really on point. So we're going to see here how this all plays out, because this is the real test. And we are not far away from the very first, not the very first, from the Miami Formula One GP. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are here, I really, really appreciate it. We are 12 minutes away. 12 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, from race start at the Miami GP. I'm staring at my burger, guys. I really want to bite into this thing before the race starts. So I might just deliberately dodge here for a second and just munch down on this burger because look, my mouth is watering. Okay, what are you eating tonight? What's your dinner? I want to know what your dinner is. Tell me what your dinner is in the chat below. I love snacks. Snacks in Formula One is the greatest. I don't know what this is. What is happening here, guys? This is why you came here, right? You want to watch some unhinged weird shit? Well, you're here at the right place. I won't be nice to drivers. I'll be mean. I will scream and shout and swear, but I will also be truthful and give you the best updates I possibly can on the new Formula One race. I can't wait. Drivers are prepping. Lando looking sleek, sucking on that monster. Well, it's probably water a bit. Kimi Antonelli. Have you seen Kimi Antonelli's interviewing style? The race was very good. I went fast and got first place because the car fast. Thank you. I don't hate any Formula One driver. I just look, guys. This is a bunch of rich guys driving really expensive cars around a track for a living. Okay, we're allowed to make fun of these guys just a little bit. Okay, Max can't kick me out of the interview, out of the media pen. Okay, so I can say what the fuck I want. This is unhinged Formula One commentary, and that's the way it goes. Charles Leclerc P1, Lewis Hamilton P2. Bro, bring it on. Let's go Ferrari. Let's go Tifosi. I'm pumped. If Ferrari win, I'll lose my mind. If Leclerc can pull off a move, we need Antonelli to have a shit start. Leclerc can sneak on the outside, maybe fight Max. Okay, it's not going to be easy to get past Max, but if Leclerc can get into second position at least, he has a good chance. Ferrari has some great cornering pace. I'm with you, Mohammed. I think Charles P1, Lewis Hamilton P2 could be very possible. I want to know your predictions down below. Let me know. I think I'm going to go with that. My prediction is going to be Charles Leclerc P1. Max Verstappen is going to be third. I think Kimi Antonelli will be second. I don't know about the McLarens. Only time will tell. And if it rains, none of this matters. What I've just said is out the window if we get rain. Okay, that is where the real shit begins. Okay, but welcome. We're about to get started. We're talking to the Red Bull engineer on track. I cannot wait. So this better be a good race. Colapinto down in 8th. Might crash. Lance Stroll definitely going to crash. That is my prediction as well. My secondary prediction is Lance Stroll will crash somewhere during this race because he's the only driver I've ever seen to crash on a formation lap and then drive his car back into the gravel. What are we doing? What is he doing? Why is this guy? He's the only driver in Formula One that when he was sick wouldn't allow a reserve driver to drive in his place because he was scared the reserve driver would have driven better than him. You think it's Max? I can't say your name. Lelpan. I'm so sorry. I'm going to destroy your name. I'm going to call you N30. Okay. I'm going to call you L because that's what it says. L says it's Max. I hope it's Max. I mean, I'm wearing the colors, bro. It's always Max for me. I love Max. I love his attitude on and off the track. He is the best. Okay, so you can never count Max Verstappen out. We'll see here. We'll see. Carlos. I don't quite know. The Williams are in such a strange place at the moment. They had some really interesting pace, but I think they suffered with some technical difficulties early on in the season. But this gap is a very weird thing to happen to the grid, so we don't know what packages teams have employed. Are they waiting to develop their cars for later on in the season? When are they going to deploy their major package? Like McLaren has just put a major package into their cars. How that's going to play out, we're going to have to find out because that's just the way it is. Who is Quack Sonks? Did someone in my chat is named Quack Socks? That is my Harry Potter name, just by the way. That is my Slytherin Harry Potter name. Quack Socks. Quack Socks. I love it. We are 6 minutes away, ladies and gentlemen, from the Miami Grand Prix. I'm saving my burger. Here's my burger. It's a mushroom jalapeno burger. I'm salivating, ladies and gents. But yes, welcome to Formula One Unhinged Commentary. We are about to get this race underway. We have 40% chance of rain, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what the weather is doing over Miami, because I am very curious what is going to happen here. Let's just have a quick little peek while we wait to see what happens there. I am very curious to see if we are going to get some rain down in Miami. Let's have a look. There is some mad stuff happening down in Key West. They are saying that it is going to pop. This is why they moved the race 3 hours forward. So, whoa, there is some weather there. There is some weather there. I don't know where that is going. This is also, whoa, there's some major stuff forming. So I don't know where this is going to hit on the track, when it is going to hit. But there is definitely weather over Miami. So we're going to see what happens there. I love it when it rains. It always shakes up the grid. It's the best time to watch Formula One. But I really hope we have an exciting race. It's going to be fun, dude. Max Verstappen. Hells yes. I'm ready for Max to take it, bro. If Max takes it, I'll be pumped. It all depends on Kimi Antonelli, though. If Kimi cannot brick his starts, he may take the race. Because one thing we got very clear here is the Mercedes have insane straight line speed. But this is Miami, all right? And Miami is not all about straight line speed. You can see the track. The track is windy in a lot of different places. There's high speed cornering, there's slow speed cornering. It's very tight. The walls are right next to you. It's a street track. One false move and you are going to be in the wall. So it's a very different kind of a race when you're in a street circuit. Lots of things can go wrong very, very quickly. So Kimi has to be on point. He thinks he's going to take a very hungry Leclerc and Verstappen, who are right behind him again. Now, again, I'm trying to... Kimi Antonelli will be on the inside. Max will be on the outside. Leclerc will be on the inside in P3. So, if Max is very good at taking on the outside, you know, and the way he drives with hyper oversteer, he loves taking those out hard inside corners. So Max, I think you can't count this guy out. Look, I'm cheering for Leclerc. Leclerc, I think, is the most underrated driver on the grid. I really, truly, honestly believe that.
Today
but we are here, guys. We are about to get this underway. We are at Miami.
It is time to go racing once again.
Fun, ladies and
Streaming
gents.
around the world in IMAX cinemas across the USA, broadcasting directly to the Autodrome in Miami,
wow.
and live on Apple TV.
It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. There's 3 sections today.
It's the Miami Grand Prix. It's round 4 of the World Championship in 2026. Our circuit runs to 3.3 miles.
3.58 meter elevation.
Of elevation.
Max
But there are
Verstappen won in
on the board. The overtake detection point just before the heavy braking zone
We've got a couple
of turn
DRS
17.
Ain't no thing no
Last
more.
consequential
That's just
corner
the way it goes. We've got
on the
3
race.
compounds here, depending on if it rains. Obviously, we've got
The
soft,
teams
mediums,
and
and
drivers,
hards.
it's the soft,
If
the
rain
medium,
comes
and
into
the
play,
hard.
obviously we're going to see instances
C5,
and wets, but we
C4,
don't
and
know
C3
what is going to happen there. That's why they
are
moved the
available.
race 3
Expect
hours
today
forward.
to be a one-stop
Hopefully we
strategy
see some
if
thunder
it stays
and
dry.
lightning.
But will it stay dry with a track temperature of 35 degrees way down? It's going to change everything for the feel of the drivers behind the wheel. And here are the drivers.
Let's have another look at the starting grid for the Miami Grand Prix. Hadjar in 22nd.
His car was outside.
Bortoletto in 21st.
Gabriel
Now
Bortoletto
Hadjar had some
then is
issues where he
21st
had to
and
start
last
from the
on the
pit lane.
grid.
That's why he's down
Sergio Perez
in
and Valtteri
22nd.
Bottas.
The Cadillacs 20th and 19th. That's Sergio and Bottas. Lance Stroll and Alonso in
Fernando
18th
Alonso
and 17th respectively. Aston Martin's having a terrible
we move to
road.
Arvid Lindblad, who's not had the easiest of weekends.
A rookie
He's
to
next
watch,
to Alexander
guaranteed.
Albon.
Alex
Williams
Albon
driver is
15th,
15th.
not where he should be. Esteban
Next up,
Ocon
Grand
and
Prix winner
Carlos Sainz
Esteban
14th
Ocon
and
goes from 14th.
13th.
He's next to Carlos Sainz.
Carlos again. The guy has done some incredible things with that car. Oliver Bowman in 12th. Liam Lawson
of his rookie
in
teammate in
11th.
11th.
We got Hulkenberg in 10th.
Nico
Incredible job by Nico
Hulkenberg
Hulkenberg. Doing really well. Such a volley in the sport. I really love him. Colapinto in 8th.
The lead Alpine, and that's unusual at best ever Grand Prix qualifying result for Franco Colapinto.
Definitely out of position there. Lewis Hamilton in 6th.
P7.
George Russell in his favorite position, which is 5th place. Come Come on, George,
teammates,
get out of 5th
both
place for the love of
searching
God.
for answers.
Lando Norris is in 4th.
Lando Norris's practice
with
starts
Charles
were
Leclerc
excellent,
on
as
the
was Charles
outside
Leclerc. Are they the danger
position.
men from the
Max
second row?
Verstappen in
Back
3rd,
on the front row for the
second,
first time this
excuse me,
season.
and
Max
Kimi
Verstappen
Antonelli
is the nearest
in
challenger
4th place. We
to our
are
championship leader
a few minutes away, ladies
and
and
driver
gents, from
on
the
pole
start
position,
of the formation lap.
19-year-old
2 minutes away.
Kimi Antonelli.
2 minutes away.
Hello everyone,
from
wherever you're
the
watching us,
start
you're
of
very welcome to the broadcast.
GP.
There
Again,
are so many
40% chance risk of
expectant
rain.
fans
It's
around the circuit
5.8
here.
kilometer winds.
We
That's
began
increased in the
Formula
last
One's journey
hour.
in Miami in
We've got 35.8 degree
Last
track
year, the
temperature,
best
which is
Grand Prix
relatively
we've ever
low.
seen
There is
around
high
this
degradation.
configuration,
In fact,
and with
it's
teams
generally a
and
medium
drivers
degradation, so
uncertain
everyone's going to
about what
probably
the
be
weather
going to be
will
starting
do,
on mediums,
should
as I would
be
assume.
for a
As you
treat
can see from
this
the left,
afternoon. Lando Norris
yes, there was only
starts
1
in
minute
fourth.
left, might be a
In
bit
third
delay on my
is
side. But
Charles
as you can see
Leclerc.
here,
The
this is
front
all
row
the
is
telemetry
Max
you need.
Verstappen and
This is
Kimi
all your tyres,
Antonelli. In
when
the
people
commentary box,
track,
I'm
your
Alex Jakes,
intervals,
and I'm happy to say I'm joined
what the
by
sector
our
times are,
usual
all of that
pairing
jazz
to the
is
right-hand
on the
side of me.
right-hand side. This is your race
13-time
control
Grand Prix
races down here
winner,
in
David
the centre,
Coulthard.
obviously
How
the
are
track.
you? This
And
fine
the top. So
afternoon.
yeah, thank you very much
good,
for tuning in. I
thanks,
really
Alex.
appreciate it.
Just
What are your
checking in
predictions?
with
What are you
the,
wanting to
very
see?
what's been accurate weather
Who's going to
report,
crash?
suggesting
Is there
that
going to be
some light
rain?
in
I want to
15,
know. That's a lot of
and,
questions for
well,
you to answer.
double
in chat.
drip coming out of
Pick
small
one
cloud
and
in
let me
30,
know.
which should suggest to me a bit
Let's
more
go.
of light
I
rain.
cannot wait either. This is
Jolyon
going to be,
Palmer,
hopefully it's a good
track
race.
temperature
Come
has
on.
dropped, even if
Come
it
on,
does stay
racing
dry, how does
gods.
that affect
Give
things
us
behind
a
the wheel?
freaking
Conditions
good
are
race,
different
please.
regardless of the rain.
Everyone
yeah,
is off the track. It
temperature
looks
is
like
20
the
degrees down
starting
on
formation
yesterday,
lap
so
is going to get
that'll actually
underway.
be a good thing for the
Anyways.
tyres. And in a normal
Again,
dry race,
I really thank
teams
you
are
all
expecting
for tuning
quite
in.
an easy one.
Please give this video a like and
Everyone
subscribe. I
starts
super
on the
appreciate it.
mediums,
This is all I
but the grip
have
level is
with
going to be
my
down
life,
as well. So
any support would be
because
great.
the
But
rain
here
is
they go.
Huge
The
downpour
lads
this morning.
are green
a very
and
wet
we are
F2
waiting
race as
for
well.
don't
Will have washed away a
miss.
lot of
I got
rubbers,
it
and
wrong.
they'll be
Kimi
finding a
Antonelli is
cool
on the
track,
outside.
but a not very
Max
grippy
Verstappen
track.
is on the
just to
inside.
pick up on that, Julian. I spoke to Bono,
I see
who is
some
the
drama,
engineer
ladies and
to
gents.
Kimi,
That is some
and he
serious,
said put
serious
more
drama.
front wing in the
I
car
am
because of
just
these
going
cooler
to do
conditions.
a quick refresh of the live timings while they do the formation lap. So please bear with me.
Formula
I just wanna
One
make
is
sure
back.
everything
It's
is
race
on
day
point.
in America.
There
This
are
is
currently
the
a
Miami
formation
Grand
lap.
Prix,
So
round
don't worry,
4
they've
of the
just
World
gone off
Championship
track.
in
We will
2026.
be live in 24
Kimi Antonelli
seconds, so we've got plenty of
roaring
time
off
here.
the
I just like to
line,
do this
looking
before the
for
race
his first
to make sure that we are
strong
on
start
points. But
of the
everyone is on
season.
mediums
Usually,
except
I'll
Hadjar.
tell you the
So Red Bull
variation
going
of
for a
tyres.
bit of a different strategy
Only
with
Isaac
Hadjar,
Hadjar,
who
who's
is
starting
sitting on
from
the
the
hard
pit lane,
tyres.
has gone away from the
we are
medium
almost
tyre.
live again.
Yeah,
10
we know he's
seconds
got
to
pace
go.
to be in the top
for
10,
live
so he's got to
catch-up,
do
just to
something
make sure
different
we're
to
all
get
good.
there.
Looks like we're
So you
going
add
for
a
a
bit of
one-stop
front wing
strategy here, guys. A
on the cooler
one-stop
temp, just because
strategy.
You should have a bit better
Some people
traction.
even
You shouldn't be
claiming we might
sliding
even go into
around on the rear
softs for
so
some
much, so you take
crazy,
advantage of that
crazy
better rear end.
shenanigans later on the race. But we're looking for a one-stop race. That's
You've got to
very,
probably
very
protect
interesting. We'll
that
see who's
from
going to play
a
out,
bit of graining as
especially
well
if
in the
the
cooler
hards
temps.
come into play.
Yeah, that's one of the
Alright,
very
looking
few
good.
adjustments you can
good.
actually make once you go
Antonelli
into a
going around
Parc
first.
after
couple
qualifying
corners.
into the race. You've got the
Everyone
front wing
taking it nice and
adjust.
easy. I'm looking at the
Other than
clouds
that, it's
here.
the electronic tools at
Yeah, it's not looking too
discretion
bad.
of the driver, of course,
we'll
that he can
see
make
how this all
make
plays
adjustments.
out,
But
because
all
I'm
focus
really
right now is on the tyre prep for the launch. It's a short run to the first corner, but it's
Fastest
been
pit stop is
troublesome
Ferrari.
for
Holy
Kimi. It's
shit,
been
they did a
troublesome a
2-second
little bit
pit
for
stop
Red Bull
on
as well,
Japan.
but not
That is
for
nuts.
Ferrari.
Ferrari
and
is
they will be hoping
you
to
know,
convert a
I don't
good
know how you
start,
guys
and well,
are Ferrari
not possible.
fans
We could be
because
leading at the end
you
of the
must be
first
heavy
lap.
drinkers.
McLaren
One day
too
you're in the
have been
wall, and
making
one day
really
you're
good
winning.
starts.
It's a wild
Remember
time
the
to
Japanese
be a
Grand Prix,
Ferrari
Oscar
fan.
Piastri went from
But
the second row and leapt
I'm
into
rooting.
the line.
I always root for the red car. I think deep down we all root
really the pressure
for
now
the red
mounting
car.
on those on the front row. And if you're
They are
Antonelli,
coming
just-
around
you
the final
are
few
so
corners,
hoping
guys.
you
We're
get
about to
one
get
clean
this
getaway, and
underway.
we'll stop talking about him
Bit of
making
delay
bad
here,
starts from
looks
pole.
like,
But until
but,
you do
we are
that,
almost
it's
underway
always going to be a
for
thing,
the
and it just
Miami Grand Prix. Thank you
incentivizes
so
the
much
drivers behind.
for tuning in.
So Kimi has has the ability
Give me
to
some
lead
hot
the
seats.
cars round to the grid. And what's interesting,
Russell
he's
closed
just
the gap
doing
so
it
fast.
very
We'll see,
gently.
We'll see.
He's not
I
giving
don't know where
anyone
Russell
the
has
chance to
been.
really
The
lean on the
last few
car,
races,
feel
Russell
the
was
car.
absolutely stellar.
He's doing it
His
gently out of
performance was
necessity.
Crazy. I was
Because Red
cheering
Bull
this guy.
have a
Now
card to
he's
play from the
just
pit
falling
lane.
off.
Isaac
Just-
Hadjar
I
has
don't
been
know
caught
why
the
his
pack up
performance
yet.
is just
They don't want
nosedived.
him
It's
mired
crazy
at the front of the field.
It's crazy to
thinking
watch, man.
about
It's,
the start that's looming
yeah,
over.
it's pretty wild.
Well,
It's pretty
Hadjar
wild. So
can,
everyone coming down the main straights,
put a lap
Kimi
on his
Antonelli
hard
rounding
tyres
down to
and
corner
get a bit of
17,
temperature
you
in
can see on
those
the
as
track at the
well.
top
So
here.
they left
We're
him
about
really
to get
late,
this
didn't they,
race
to launch in,
and,
but
away.
Antonelli is going
Yeah,
slowly. So
Hadjar
you've got to
taking
get
his
your
time,
battery in the
man.
right place still.
He's
You've got to
starting
make
to
sure
pit
your
lane, so we
tyres
don't
are in the
have to worry
right
about
place
Hadjar.
and your brakes. It's 180
How many
metres
people
to
in
the
here?
first
It's a
corner,
sold out,
which is one of the
sold out
shorter runs.
stadium.
But it is still
At
quite a
the
big stamp on the
Miami
brakes when
Grand
you
Prix.
get there.
This is
What's
wild.
the grip
There's a
like
lot
on
of
the
people there.
inside? The
Like
drivers
200,000
don't know
people at the
because they've been
stadium.
coming out of
That's
the pit
crazy.
lane, not
The
doing
stadium.
that first
Track.
corner on the
Yeah,
reconnaissance
track.
lap. So there is
We're lining up,
plenty
guys.
of
We're
unknowns
lining
to
up.
define in a few
We're lining
moments'
up.
time.
Here we go.
180
Here
metres,
we go.
590 feet, depending on where you're watching us.
F1
And
is
Kimi
back,
Antonelli
baby.
knows this
Yeah,
feeling.
let's go.
3
I
Grand
don't wanna-
Prix pole
hopefully we don't get a
positions
cra-
in
well,
a row.
I don't know.
Ayrton Senna did
The wife and I were talking
Michael
and saying
Schumacher
that
did
we
that when
may
they took
see
their
a
maiden
crash
poles. They followed it
in the
by
first
2
corner.
more.
It all depends.
Fallon is one of a whole
It all
host
depends
of
on-
celebrities that line this circuit.
It all depends on Kimi Antonelli.
This is the first
Can
of
this guy
3
get off the
races
track
in the
safely?
US in
If he
2026.
doesn't brick his start like
Well,
he
we
always
just
does,
saw
okay.
the angle that Max
Waiting for the last
Verstappen has
few cars
positioned
to
his
pile
car
in here.
slightly pointing towards Kimi
Time to watch
Antonelli. He's
some
wanting
rich
to get off
guys,
that
watch
dusty
race some
inside part of the
expensive
track
cars.
and
Forget about the
just
world,
really
forget about
bring some
AR,
pressure to
forget about
Kimi.
everything.
If he looks in his
Let's
mirrors,
just watch
he'll be
some
sensing
Formula
that.
One together, baby.
Final
Last
cars
few
are
cars
crawling
coming up to
past
grid.
our
Isaac
commentary box,
Hadjar is
situated at the
entering the
final
pits for
corner.
his pit lane
Car to the pit lane
start.
is Isaac
We're about to
Hadjar.
get
He's
this
had his formation lap.
underway.
He's in position. The last
Last
car
few
on the
cars lining
grid
up.
is Gabriel
Safety car is
Bortoleto. Audi
exiting.
will be hoping for
Max on the
reliability.
inside, Kimi on the
Front
outside.
four
What is
dreaming
going to happen
a Grand
here?
Prix victory.
Maybe Leclerc can
Something that Lando
sneak,
Norris knows around this
sneak a
circuit,
little
something
spot.
that Max Verstappen
But
knows
it's
around
up
this
to
circuit
Kimi.
as well.
It's up
Green
to
flag
Kimi.
at the
It's
back.
really- the race
It's
is his to
time
lose
to
right
battle
now.
for Grand Prix victory once
Yes.
again. We
Let's
go
see where the laps
racing
are going.
in
Looks like the last car's
5
up.
lights
We got a
time
green flag.
when the revs
And the laps
rise
1,
and they
2,
attack
3,
turn 1.
4, 5. Let's go, baby. Let's
The Miami
go.
Grand
Kimi's off the
Prix
line.
is underway. Kimi Antonelli crawling off the line. Charles Leclerc is going through to the lead. No, Max Verstappen
break
got
and
it.
Kimi.
Antonelli goes
Oh my
wide.
God,
Who's got the
Kimi
launch?
botched it.
It's
Leclerc
Charles
takes
Leclerc.
first position.
Spin.
Oh my God.
It's a
Oh,
spin
it's
for
a
Max
little bit.
Verstappen.
It's a
Down
bump
the back
between
avoid him.
Hamilton.
The Ferrari
Leclerc
leads.
won
Antonelli
on
went
the
wide.
outside.
Max Verstappen
Unbelievable.
spun.
Max
And
takes
Charles
second.
Leclerc takes the
Kimi
lead of
breaks
the
it
Grand
on the
Prix.
fifth.
What a
Oh my
dramatic
God,
getaway
who's
we've had
crashed?
here.
I missed
It's
it.
Leclerc,
Someone
then
crashed. Who
Antonelli,
was
Norris,
it?
Piastri, and Russell
It was
the top 5.
oh no!
well,
Oh my
he said
God!
it,
That was
Ferrari,
absolutely
they've,
a mental
continued
start.
that
Leclerc
brilliant starting
saw the
form, and
opportunity.
Max
Max
fought it hard,
Verstappen
but
down
just
to
on those
10th
colder
position.
tyres, Max spun it.
Unbelievable!
Max down to
What
10th position.
There was
There is
some
the
major
Ferrari
contact
checking out
into,
right
into
now. We
corner
haven't
three.
had a dramatic
I
opening lap
completely
like
missed
that
it.
for
There was
years.
just
Yeah,
a
Hamilton's
mass of
fallen
cars.
down behind
That was
Pierre
absolutely
Gasly moving
mental by
forward.
Leclerc
It's
to keep
exactly
his
the
head
same
during the race.
setup as last year, guys,
Unbelievable
when
driving.
Lando
I
Norris
said it
was forced
again.
wide.
He's the
Only
most
this time
underrated
there's
driver
less
on the
grip
grid.
for
Oh,
Max.
Lewis
And
Hamilton
loads more
looking on the
torque, so
inside of
he lit it up,
Colapinto.
trying to turn it
Goes
around.
wide
Contact.
off the track.
Hamilton
Colapinto
and
nearly
Colapinto
runs
making
him off the
contact
track.
into turn
That is
11,
what I like
and
to
it's
see
a
from the
melee
start of the
behind
race.
right now as
Max,
Verstappen drops 7
unfortunately,
places.
has been
He's in
taken
ninth
out
at the
and is
moment
down
and
in
trying to
9th
get
position.
past Liam Lawson.
Unfortunately, I want to see what happened there. I completely missed what it was. Just a mash of cars. We need a replay there. But Charles Leclerc flying ahead in
McLarens
first
were deep into
position.
the first corner as
Absolutely
well. Everyone was
incredible
sucking in by
starts.
those
Kimi
battling ahead.
Antonelli
I'm
bricks it
amazed they
again,
all come through
caused a bit of a pileup.
Hamilton gets past
And the rest of the
Colapinto.
track just
Lewis
fell
Hamilton
out
finds
of
himself
position.
in
Lando
sixth
Norris and
position.
Piastri are very,
Verstappen
very
trying to
close
come back into
together.
the braking
Overtake
zone.
is
Will there
enabled.
be
Oh,
room?
Max!
That's late on the brakes. Might
Oh
give an
my
opportunity
God, Max!
to
What are you
Alex
doing?
Albon, who's passed
Holy
his teammate
shit!
Carlos Sainz.
He nearly took
And
out
as he
Sainz.
passed,
He's racing
this
super
is
hard.
aggressive
Oh my God!
Side by side Formula
Max,
1 at its
no,
finest.
Max takes Albon. They're down the main straight. Oh no!
Lap 2 of 57.
Oh, no.
Leclerc,
Max
Antonelli,
back on the
Norris,
inside.
Piastri, and Russell the top 5.
Max,
Verstappen
the
stays ahead
position's
of this
changing
battle.
like
He's in ninth.
crazy. This is
Well, this has
nuts.
been a
Max
great
Verstappen
opening
is
lap.
taking
A
no
lot of
prisoners.
opportunity, a little bit of
Unbelievable.
contact
Back
from
up to
some of the
9th
cars,
position.
but it
That
could
was
have been a
4
lot,
swap
lot worse.
positions in 3
And,
corners.
what a welcome back
Insane.
to Formula 1
Holy
racing
shit.
we've just seen.
Max Verstappen taking no prisoners. My God, up into 9th position. What a battle between Albon, Gasly, Verstappen, and Sainz. Holy shit. We don't see that a lot. It's kind of wild to watch Max race down in the midfield because that's where all the action happens, right?
For those behind.
He's not going to take
Hulkenberg
no
has been in to
for an
change
answer.
the front
Whoa,
wing and going
what
slowly
is happening there?
out
Max Verstappen
of
flies
design.
past
Out of design.
one
Liam
of the
Lawson
racing
off
balls,
the throttle there,
gets him in
letting Max
position
Verstappen
there.
through,
He was
and
coming
is
out
trying to
the pit
avoid a
lane.
penalty.
Verstappen now in
Yeah, he
8th
must have
position.
passed him through the chicane.
Leclerc
here.
losing some pace now.
They were
This is
side by
very,
side, weren't
very
they, with a bit of
strange.
contact through
Leclerc
the,
now down
turn
to
11
1
sequence,
second.
so I wonder if it
Antonelli
was somewhere
catching
around
very
there.
quickly on those
I don't think
straights.
that's just
Leclerc.
Racing Bulls playing the game with
Leclerc
Red
has
Bull. It's
some
certainly
power
didn't
in
seem
the
that in the lap
corners.
before.
No,
That
and we've not seen
Ferrari
that
does
in the
really
beginning
well
of the
in
year
the corners, but
either.
that
We've seen them
Mercedes
lads
straight line
go,
speed
toe to
is
toe. So,
incredible.
yeah,
Now there
we
is
see
a very
replay.
small
Oh,
gap
we see a
between the
lock
top
up
5
there
currently.
from
Okay, as you
George
can see
Russell
from the
in the
intervals on the
Mercedes.
left.
Big chance
Antonelli,
now for
0.9
George
to
Russell,
Leclerc.
trying
Norris,
to improve.
0.8 to Antonelli.
He's got a threat
Piastri,
for what he
1.3
expected to be a big
Norris.
chance for his
Russell,
maiden World
0.3
Championship in
to
the former
Piastri.
Kimi
So,
Antonelli.
ooh,
If he's
we're
going to
gonna
win this
overtake
Grand
here
Prix
by George
today, he
Russell.
needs moves like that, and he moves
This
up
is
to
George
4th.
Russell
Yeah,
on
it was Piastri's lock-up at the final turn,
God,
and he
it is.
just understeered wide of the apex. That meant he got a poor exit, and Russell
It is
says,
George
"Thanks
Russell
very
on
much,
Piastri."
I'll have 4th
Nice,
place back."
a beautiful
Piastri must have had a
overtake
really
by
rocket
George
launch as
Russell.
well. 7th on
Taking
the
a
grid,
very
and he was up there
unlucky
fighting
spot.
with his teammate, 3rd and
George
4th.
likes
So
to
he's just
take
lost one of those places with
risks.
a bit of a
This is why I
mistake.
like this
Mercedes
guy.
now can settle in
He
second and
drives
fourth,
like a beast,
and we will
but
see what their
unfortunately,
pace
it looks
is.
like
Yeah, there's a lot of winners
looks
there.
like
Albon
Hamilton
being the
has,
best of
unfortunately
those
fallen
with
in
the
the black
5
there. Now,
place.
Leclerc needs to
increase in
capitalize
position,
here.
putting him in the
Ferrari
points
needs to
right
be
now.
very careful on their strategy.
The
This
collision
is
between
Ferrari's
Colapinto
real
and Hamilton
issue.
has been noted.
Okay?
That's for the collision. at
Leclerc
this
can drive
turn,
as
turn
fast as he
11.
wants,
Good
but
couple of laps
Ferrari
of Kimi Antonelli,
they
who
have a
regrouped.
strategy issue.
Verstappen and
Unfortunately,
Antonelli crawled off the line.
sometimes they are really
Big
on
momentum
point,
for
but a
Charles
lot of the
Leclerc,
times they
who
make
placed the
really
car well,
silly calls
did the up
that
and under
cost
move,
them
and then
races.
Verstappen went
And I really
pinched,
don't hope they
spun
do that
around.
here.
The pack did
Leclerc's
brilliantly
in a great
to do the
spot
full
here.
avoiding action.
He is in
Hulkenberg
a
has
great
changed the
spot,
front
but
wing.
he
He's
does have a
down
lot of
12
pressure coming from
positions, and no
Antonelli
for you
and
for Isaac
Norris.
Hadjar.
Okay, they are
The
pushing
Red Bull driver
really,
joined the
really
race in
hard.
the pit lane. He is
They
in
are
17th,
very, very
up
close to
5.
Leclerc, so
We've had a
tyre
dress
dig is going to
rehearsal,
make an
haven't we,
issue
of
here.
this?
Now, tyre
Yesterday
dig
in the
is more
sprint,
important for
Charles Leclerc was ahead of
Antonelli
Kimi
and
Antonelli
Norris
for most
because
of
they're
it,
riding
or
in
in fact the
dirty
entire
air.
thing, but it was like
Charles,
this for a lot of it.
out in
And
front,
Kimi sat there in the
without
dirty
having to
air,
worry about
slid
that,
around,
may be able
started
to
to overheat
manage
his
his
rear
tyres
tyres, and ended
correctly
up
because
dropping
it is
away
not
from the Ferrari,
easy to
who then
overtake
went to
on
go
this
and chase
Miami
the
track.
McLarens out
So
front
he may
and
have
show
a real
good race
advantage
pace.
here
So how
to
much
put
is
in some
Leclerc once
pace,
again just
maybe have a bit of an
absorbing the
upset
pressure
on,
at this stage
on
and
the
keeping
back
his
end.
tyres in check?
But
Because they've got to go a reasonable distance to
you
make this
also
a
can't
one-stop.
count Antonelli and
This is
Norris
very
is
telling,
putting in
isn't
the
it?
fastest
After
laps.
the excitement of the
So,
first few Grand Prix,
you know,
where there
he's
was a
putting
lot
pressure
of
on
tasks and
Antonelli,
retasks,
which is in turn going
it's
to
on
make
the sprint.
Antonelli
It
put
was a
pressure on
much more
Leclerc.
sort of classic,
This is going to come down to
neutralised
pit
race
stops,
with
right?
some good overtakes.
4 laps in.
So we've been curious to
Antonelli
know what
0.7
is
off
the form
Leclerc.
going to be
Leclerc
like
is
on this
falling back a
track,
bit on
which
pace, but
it
you can see
tends
again,
to lend
when
itself
they come
more,
down the main
especially
straight,
in this section, lead and follow.
Antonelli
There just
is
isn't
all
a
over
natural
Leclerc.
place, and then you've got a
Norris
massive
kind of falls
offset in
back a bit,
deployment
and
to
then
overtake.
again in the corners you can see Norris and
Lando
Leclerc
Norris coming through
catch
turn
up
8.
to
You
the
can see
pace.
he has
So we're gonna see where
overtaken
that-
Abel, so that's a little bit more
kinda-
energy for him
that
to
battle
deploy
between the
around
top
a
three is
lap.
going to play out there.
But it's
So the
not
fears
massively
for turn
effective
11
because the
involving
harvesting's
Colin
not
Pitts
good.
and Hamilton
battle for the
have
lead.
reviewed no
Kimi Antonelli
further
versus Charles
investigations.
Leclerc,
As you can see
and
here
Leclerc
from the
hangs
middle,
on to it.
race
We could see
control
on
will tell
board
you
with
what's
Lando that it
happening
was
here.
getting closer
But
and
Hamilton
closer
has
and
been
closer.
cleared of all
And the Ferrari
wrongdoing,
man
as he
stays
should have
out
been. That was
front,
clearly
but there's a big
a
charge
racing
coming.
incident. Oh
Sorry
my
for
God,
interrupting
Kimi
you.
Antonelli
For
nearly hitting
good
the
reason.
wall.
Thank you
Holy
for
shit,
interrupting
man.
me.
Well, I
This
think you
kid
might need
is
to interrupt
wild
him
on the
again
stick, let
as
me
we
tell
get
you
on
that.
to the
It's
long
like
back straight.
watching
Seeing
Snake
that
Plissken
Antonelli, big
drive
handful
from
of
Escape from
oversteer, which
LA.
would have
This is
affected a
Miami,
little
so
bit
Escape
his
from
drive
Miami.
off of
But
turn
he's got some
16.
pace, this boy, eh?
But
He's got
expect
some
to
pace.
see
I don't know what's
an
happening with Jaws.
overtake down
1.7
into the
seconds behind
hairpin.
Norris. He better pick up the pace.
Looking to be late
Oh,
in the
Kimi
race.
Antonelli,
On
look on
board
the
with
inside of
Kimi
Leclerc. He's
Antonelli.
going to make a move. He's going to make a
Gets
move
to
on
the
the
inside. Where's
inside.
our
Kimi
Ferrari gone?
Antonelli,
We're to
is
the
Charles
apex
going to have a
first. Kimi
response
Antonelli
here?
takes the
I
lead.
don't think
But
he
can
is. It's
Charles
down
Leclerc
a few
place the
winding
car
corners.
well,
Is
like
Charles,
he did in the
does he
opening
have
round of
battery
the
down
year?
the main
Looking
straight?
to the
This is the
inside
real
line,
question.
Antonelli, the
The
new race leader,
aerofoils are
stays
open.
ahead.
Is Charles going to make a
Leclerc
move on
waved
the
him through,
inside?
in fact, at the final turn. They were
Unfortunately, not
playing sort of
Kimi
overtake
has
line
taken Charles.
games, a little bit of the old DRS games. So now Leclerc will
Kimi
have that little
has
bit more
done
energy
a
to use on this
textbook
lap. Can he
overtake,
stay
I'm not
close
gonna
enough
lie.
in this
A
phase
really well
of the lap?
executed
Alex
overtake.
Albon to the inside
But
on
I
Liam
think Kimi
Lawson.
is
That's
going
a
to
battle
fly
for
away with
ninth
this
place on
now
the left-hand
because
side of your
Norris
screen.
is
And
closing
Albon
in on
gets
Leclerc
through.
very,
Leclerc's
very
close.
quickly. And I think the battle is going to be between Antonelli and Norris. Let's just have a look.
Patient does
If
he? Is
there
he's
are any
hustling the back
driver
of the
messages
Ferrari.
here. This
Here
is
we
a
go.
new,
Yeah, the
new,
difference between the cam engineer
addition
sitting
to,
on a pit wall and a race
multi-viewer
driver
that,
starting
like,
to
lets you
overheat.
listen to
Heart
drivers'
rate
notes
probably
and stuff
sitting
like that.
around
Just have a look what
140
everyone's
as
saying.
here comes Leclerc
Valtteri
on the
Bottas,
outside.
Pass
Lance
and
Stroll, no
repass
power,
for the
no
lead of the
Stroll,
Grand
no power,
Prix.
zero
The
power.
Ferrari man back out front. Charles Leclerc, he won in Miami.
Lance Stroll,
So that's Yo and Yo, and what
Lewis
does
Hamilton
Norris do
saying
about
your
it
grip
now as they
limited
come round?
performance doing good.
So Antonelli unable to defend.
Okay, so nothing
How about
crazy,
Liam
crazy
Lawson? He's got
happening there.
Gasly and
But
Albon
Norris
directly
putting
ahead.
in the times.
And Albon hangs
So-
on
oh
to
my God, I
ninth
missed it.
position.
Charles
Lawson
Leclerc
in
takes
10th
first
and
position.
Gasly
Back from
11th
Kimi
on the
Anthony.
left-hand side
That
of
happened
your
in turn
picture.
12. I'm
Lovely
so
launch out of
sorry.
turn
That's
16
terrible from
for
me.
Lando Norris.
Leclerc coming
brilliant
back
at
down the
these
measures.
energy
Is Kimi
management
going
games
to
as well.
make a
What does
move down the
Antonelli
main? I don't
do
think
this
he
time
has. But
around?
Lando
Does he
closing
try
in
and
super
slide
close.
one down the
Leclerc,
inside
I
this
think,
time,
was
or
harvesting.
wait
Is
for a
Kimi going to
better,
have a
different
sniff on the
opportunity? Is
inside?
that to just
I
defend
don't
Norris,
think
I
he
think, there
is.
with a look in
But
the mirrors.
Norris is waiting.
Max Verstappen's
Norris
going
is
to make a pass
waiting
left-hand
behind Kimi
side,
and
he does
Charles
get
for the
past Franco
position to
Colapinto.
attack.
Oh,
And get
into
track
the wall.
position. No,
Goes his
Isaac
teammate,
Hadjar
Isaac
has hit the
Hadjar
wall.
into the wall
Isaac
and
Hadjar
out of
has
the
hit the
race.
wall. We are going to have a red flag.
That's going to
Oh
be full
no!
safety.
And here
This
comes
puts Charles
Norris,
Leclerc
and
in
he
an
takes
issue. Are
second
people going to
position.
pit?
Charles Leclerc, Lando
Are
Norris
people
going
gonna be
through.
best
Colapinto
pit?
gets past Verstappen behind as
Pit
well.
Leclerc
It's Charles Leclerc
now.
who leads the
Pit
Grand Prix
Leclerc
now from
do
Lando
it.
Norris.
And Piastri's
Isaac
right
Hadjar
with Russell
just
as well
hit
in
the
the back
wall.
of shot here. Can he get through? There's a
Into
safety
turn
car
12,
about to be
13.
called.
We have a red flag. It's got to be a
Gasly
red flag.
tumbles
His
down
car
as well.
is in the wall.
Lawson involved.
There's no way.
And Hadjar
Safety
is
car has
out.
been deployed.
They've slowed down.
Sector
We've not seen the
13.
graphic.
Isaac
but
Hadjar
there
is out. Oh no!
is
Pierre
Pierre
Gasly has
Gasly's
hit the wall.
Alpine.
my
He's okay,
God.
that's the most important
his car
thing
is
by
literally
far.
horizontal.
But that will neutralise the race. We've not got the
45
graphic at the
degrees
moment, but
on
the
the
safety car
barrier
is
wall.
deployed. I
What
can tell you the
happened
safety
there?
car is out
Oh
right
my
now.
God, into turn 17.
Most
He wasn't even
importantly,
going
the drivers,
that fast.
although furious,
What is
are
happening?
okay. Hadjar
Two
has reported
crashes
he's all right. So
on a
is
safety
Pierre
car.
Gasly.
Oh,
and
shame. I feel bad for
around
Hadjar.
Miami
He's so hard on
International
himself. He's literally,
he's
literally smashing his own helmet with his
taking
hands.
some time to come
Bro,
out of Hadjar.
don't, come on, bro. Don't do that to yourself. Shit happens. Shit happens. Unfortunately, bro, but he is out. Isaac Hadjar has hit the wall.
Safety car
Turn
position.
13.
Good to see both drivers
Unfortunately, boy.
absolutely fine.
Hey,
but
boyki, you win
it's
some,
gonna
you
take a
lose
little
some,
while to clear
bro.
up.
Come on, don't be too hard on yourself.
Those knuckles will need
And
a check
Gasly
in
as
the
well.
medical
I'm
centre.
not
He's
sure
been there for
what
about a
happened to
minute, hasn't
Gasly. He
he?
was
Just
cruising
demonstrating
down.
with himself
Obviously, you guys
out
all
and
know you
furious.
got to reduce your
Gasly's
speed
ended up in the
to 40% of what you
positions
can
there as
do.
well,
So how did Gasly? I mean, he was coming down the main straight, and then in that hairpin corner, just lost the car.
Hadjar, it feels like Hadjar's
Very
in a
strange.
different place.
Gasly is an
It
experienced
feels
driver.
like
You don't
Hadjar's
really
in a
see him
different place
making
to
those kind of
Gasly, so
mistakes.
there's a lot for our replay
a
team
bit strange.
to
I think
sort
there's a lot
out
of pressure
here
at the
the
Alpine
moment.
team for
the
these
graphic
drivers to
isn't
perform.
actually
I'm
showing
telling you that right
the
now
cars
because
on our track
that
map.
the owner,
that is
Stefano, I think it's
somewhat
Stefano.
tricky
Man, that
to
guy
give
is
us a fuller picture.
Gasly's at the final.
I mean, I guess you've got to be a
real
bit of an
corner of the
asshole
racetrack.
to
The hairpin at
to run a
17.
Formula
I think
1 team,
Hadjar's
right?
at the
Holy shit.
14, 15
But that guy's, yeah, he's
chicane, but that might not be the
doesn't seem
case.
like
We'll
a
clear it
nice
up.
human being.
So
Maybe
they
he is
have-
to his family, but definitely not to his team.
They've both gone off at the
But
same
that's it.
time.
We've got two drivers out.
But at different
After-
corners. Has there been damage somewhere on Gasly? Because that car is
After the 6th lap.
positioned extraordinary.
We've got two cars out.
Up on the barrier.
Looks like it's been
Holy
launched,
shit.
especially on the
I mean,
exit, in your sort of medium,
I
middle
think
of
this is a
the
perfect
corner towards
I think
exit.
7 laps.
I'm going
I
to
think
give
this
you
is
a
perfect
guess.
start. Oh,
I
they're
reckon
boxing Max. Okay.
I
I
reckon
just need to see who's
Lawson
boxing here.
and Gasly have
They're on
tangled.
6. Everyone,
And I reckon
no one's boxing
Hadjar's
except
had his
Max.
own incident further.
They're going to go for hard. If Max
So we'll
goes
see
for
if
hard,
that's
you know
right.
Red Bull's here to play. They're putting on hard.
It's a
What I
total
say,
guess. Max
they're here to
Verstappen's
play.
into the
Red
pit
Bull's
lane,
here to
but those are the
play.
names
They
that
don't
tumbled
screw
down, so
around.
we'll see if it's
You
correct.
cannot count Red Bull strategy out,
And
eh?
we'll bring you
Let
the
me tell
replay
you
as
this
soon as we
right now.
can. First of
Red
all,
Bull
Isaac
does
Hadjar,
not mess
14,
around when it comes
15.
to strategy.
He's
There's one
clipped the
thing there.
apex.
Yeah, broken the
Yeah,
suspension
you
on
know,
the
Isaac
apex.
Hadjar
Yeah,
came
that
into
was
turn
just
13.
Unfortunate and
He
clumsy.
tried to.
You see
He
that
either
tyre,
came in
the
too
steering arm
fast
is
into
gone.
corner 11, went too fast
Well,
around
that
corner
barrier was
12,
moved,
tried
so
to
it's,
oversteer, then
unfortunate for
hit
him,
the
it's just a
curb
driver error.
on 13, sent his
Here we
front
go to the
tire up,
inside.
couldn't control the car in the air. Oh my
Wow.
God, Pierre
Pierre
Gasly
Gasly
actually
flipped
rolled his
over.
car.
Very
into turn
unusual
17.
moment.
He was hit by a racing ball. I
We
guarantee
see
that was Liam Lawson.
tangling with Pierre
Was it
Gasly.
Liam Lawson? I hate Liam
And those
Lawson.
incidents
I hate it
happening
so much.
within about 30
Liam Lawson
seconds of each
literally
other. This was
coming
on
in.
board with the French
Pierre
driver who was
Gasly was
trying to
behind,
overtake Lawson.
looking for an
Lawson goes
overtake,
defensive,
and he just
and
drove
you're
into
about
him.
to
He
see
just
the
drove
result
into the
of
back of his car and flipped him. What are you doing? Down the straight, turning into 7. Bro, you didn't even turn.
He's in anti-stall as it
You
comes
didn't
in,
even
so
turn.
I think he's had an issue there with the power
Oh my
unit.
God, Pierre
He's got
Gasly
no
rolled. Yeah,
deceleration
I'm not gonna lie.
from the,
That fight,
from the
you
engine
are
braking.
so right.
That's why he's just washed
That
into
fight
Gasly, who's
between
not
Max and
expecting it.
Colapinto.
Yeah,
It's
no,
chef's
Gasly
kiss,
left
bro.
enough room for a car.
The start of the race
but,
again.
as you
Yeah,
say,
it was.
see the replay at
Both
the
Max
start. So
and Kimi
Max
locked up at the start.
manages
That's
to
why
scramble
Leclerc
to keep it
very
online, but
cleverly
it's at
went
the
on the
point
inside.
where he throttles
I
up
think
through the
Max
apex at
also,
2, he loses the
I think
rear.
Leclerc somewhere
He
along
was
the line
desperate to get
tapped
there to the
Max's
apex, wasn't he?
back
So he's
rear
really
and
hustling
sent
on that
Max
throttle. Then
spinning,
you've got a turn,
which is
you've
why he
got
lost track
acceleration
position there.
going on. You've
But
got a bit of
again,
lateral
yes,
load through
that-
it, and it's just
that
too
was
much
nuts.
on the
I
low
can't
grip at the start
believe
of this one.
that
So it
Lawson
is so
just
similar
flipped
to last year.
Gasly's
This time
car.
there's less grip
He
for him
literally
to
rolled his
try and
F1 car.
bulldozer his way into
Absolutely
two.
nuts. But again,
On
the
board with
start
Kimi
was
Antonelli, that's
incredible.
Charles
Max,
Leclerc on the left-hand
Max
side.
doing
Oh,
some
he nearly takes him out.
impressive driving there to not
That was
crash
so
and to
close.
fight
And then
literally
Leclerc
3 drivers
survives
at once.
again with
Absolutely
millimetres
incredible.
between
A
Verstappen
really unlucky start
and the
by Max,
Ferrari.
though.
Wait till you get.
That's why
I think
I'm looking at the replays
Norris is
here.
on board because I
So
think
Max
there
on
was
the
millimetres
inside,
on the McLaren
Max
as
on
well.
the inside,
This is
Kimi on the
defensive,
outside.
the move
Max
on
has
Norris
a great
from
line, gets a
Verstappen.
good start.
On the dusty
Leclerc,
inside line,
Max,
locks up, but keeps it
he missed his
inside
braking braking
limits,
spots.
but it's this point here. Get
Somewhere, it
sort of
didn't look like
squeezed, if
Charles
you like,
hit him.
and
It
perfectly
just looked
fair
like he
racing,
lost the
wheel to
rear.
wheel with Leclerc.
Either put too much power in coming out of the first corner, and then just lost the rear
tires are
Very
already
strange.
chattering
It's
as
so
he's
hard to
going, and
see
then he
because
starts to turn in,
the
and
cars
it
are so close
just
together.
spins around, breaks
Unfortunate for
traction,
Max,
and
man. Just such
what
an
a
unlucky
save,
start.
and everyone else
I think
just...
he'll come back. You can't
Oh, it's
blame him,
Gasly
man.
there. That's
You
why
cannot
Pierre lost a
count him
lot of
out.
ground at the start, because he
Gasly
gets really
got smacked
bogged in.
by-
So this is
Gasly
what it
got
feels
smacked.
like on board to have
okay,
a monster
I'm looking at-
launch,
we're
and
gonna
he's
see
just
here if
thinking
Charles hits
happy
Max.
days,
Charles,
and then look,
in
opens
between
the
Max and
steering,
Kimi,
he's got
Charles
to
takes the
actually
inside, Max
cars
on the
like
outside.
displays either
I
side.
think
and manages to keep it on track.
It's actually superb from Leclerc, isn't it? Eyes everywhere, feeling the grip. You can see him also on the limit. This is the one here. Look at Norris. We've seen Mercedes
on the inside, Max is in front of him.
I think Lando is about to rear end the back of the Ferrari as well.
Brakes a bit. They both, Max and Kimi, both missed their braking points.
Didn't have the space to take care of any of the momentum.
Max slid on the curb. That is wild. His front left tire coming out of turn
release
1.
The brakes, throttle up,
hit a slip, must have been a slippery curb,
it's
and you can see he just lost
He does it
control
all the time, DC. Every time he spins,
crazy.
he does
That's
the perfect
such a
pirouette and gets it back
random
again.
event.
This was Colin Pinto versus Hamilton. Race
he's
control.
drivers.
No further investigation needed. They called it a racing
These
incident.
boys are in the walls. They're in the walls, bro. They're not
This
taking
is
any.
maybe up close and personal with Max here.
Oh,
and the
this is
Racing
the
Bulls.
one.
So that's up against Lawson.
Yeah, Max was
That's
fighting
why
the Racing
Lawson
Bull
then
and
gave
Colin
the
Pinto
place
and
back, I
Carlos
think,
Sainz all at
because he
once
went off
and
the
still
track.
came out on
He
top.
needed to give the place back,
Max
to be honest, from where they were. Max
Verstappen.
went off the road as well. Carlos Sainz then trying to get back
Carlos
into the
did a
top
great
10.
move
This
on
was
the
in
outside
battle
there, but Max I think had him
Gasly,
beat.
wasn't it?
Yeah, he had him beat
So
on the
they both
inside.
go
Also a
deep
bit
into
wide
the
there,
corner,
missed
and
the
then
braking
Albon's gonna be
point.
through.
Then Albon on the outside tried to take Max. Max said, no, I'm going to stick to my line. Incredible racing from Max Verstappen. It's what we love to see. I hope this guy doesn't leave Formula 1 because it'll be a detriment to the sport if he does decide
So yeah,
to leave
Gasly,
again
one-time
this year.
Grand Prix winner.
But jeez, that was an exciting couple of laps. I'm not going to lie.
Driver who's
Wow.
out of the race.
Charles Leclerc still in first position.
But before
Safety car is
he
still
retired
out.
by clipping the
I'm
apex
not
wall,
seeing
he
any,
put that move on.
alerts of the safety
He must be
car
so
coming in
frustrated
yet, so
because
we're
it's
still under
an
safety car
unforced error,
conditions.
but he was making progress
Charles
on
Leclerc
those
did
hard
well.
tyres as well.
Ferrari,
Seemed to have a much better
the only
balance with the
person
cooler
to
track
pit
temperature.
was Max Verstappen.
So as the
only
you see all
person
that on
to
track
go into
action,
hard
and then you can see
Max Verstappen.
Hadjar just
So
turns
Ferrari
in
is playing
way
a
too
game
early.
here, guys.
So he's making
Sure,
ground,
it's a
making
little
passes
early
started from the pit
to
lane,
play it,
and immediately
onto
goes
hard.
into his
Okay,
boxing mode. But you know,
track
when you make a
temperatures
couple of
are
passes
going
starting from the
down.
back, you think, right, okay,
Okay,
eyes
your
forward,
humidity
let's go,
has come
next
down
one.
quite a
And
lot.
it's just
Your wind speed has come
sort of
down
too
quite a
ambitious
bit.
just with the
So
curb
degradation
and the
might
wall
be a
more
lot
than anything,
less.
but he's just
Okay, sure.
in the
There
headspace
isn't much
of,
data
right, everything, let's
on
move forward.
the hard
Yeah, it's been a
tyres and
challenging weekend
degradation.
for him. No question.
But this could
He
be
had
a really
I
good
think
move
a very
from
good start
the Red
to
Bull
his
team
relationship with Red Bull Racing the first 3 Grand Prix.
to really do
But he's
something
found it a bit
special
more
for maybe a
challenging
one
around
stop.
here, and
Maybe
then
they can sneak
compounds it
something
with
past, right?
a
Little
DNF.
sneaks.
So we're probably not going to be far away from
So how many cars we got
getting
out
ready
here?
for
We
a
got
restart, and it's only Max
Hadjar,
Verstappen
Gasly.
has
It looks like
chosen
Lawson has
to come
retired
in
the
and take
car.
a set of tyres. He's
Lawson
down in
is,
16.
oh my God, is
They
Nico
did have the
Hulkenberg
early
retiring
data
his
from the
car?
hard tyre of Isaac Hadjar. So they had
No,
initial
we have
data
3
on
cars out.
this.
Liam
They've
Lawson,
just rolled the dice
who
to put
literally
strategic
rolled
pressure on those out
Pierre
I
Gasly.
think he can probably do the race
Has been
on
retired.
that hard tyre, of course.
Pierre Gasly
Let's not forget
crashed
there's rain in
and
the air
Hadjar
as
is
well,
out.
so
Hulkenberg has
Max doesn't
retired the
want
car.
any
Swear
rain
to
now
God,
he's
if
on
you
the
were
hard.
an Audi investor, how happy would you be to see your car on fire and then watch your car get retired in the first race back after 5
we
weeks?
didn't know that was coming, by the way. And we
I'd
didn't
be
know
bummed
how
if
the
I put like
crashes
50 million
unfolded, to
into
be honest,
Audi.
before we
I'm
got
not
the
going to
refund.
lie. That would be rather
Absolutely.
shit.
Well, my
but
local
safety
radar,
cars still out. We've been
we don't
2
know
laps
that
under the
radio
safety
message was
car.
played, of course, but
And it looks like
telling
they're
me
coming
15
in.
minutes to the
There's
first
quite a
little
big
cell of
crash.
rain,
There's 2 cars
and
on
30
track,
minutes
so it's
to
probably going to be a
more
longer
significant
safety
rain.
car.
So I think that's what everyone else is
while we do
looking
this,
at,
I need
to
a little-
not
I need a
take
little-
the
a little
free
sip
pit
of-
stop
a
or the
little
cheap
sip
pit
to
stop. Of
wet
course,
my
Max
palate
had
here.
less to lose because he dropped back with that spin at the start. So it's a gamble for Red Bull that no one else fancied taking to then be mired in the midfield,
Wow.
which is where Verstappen is.
I did
A
not
pit stop
expect
in
it to be
clear
this
air is about
crazy
20
in the
seconds.
first
On
7
the
laps,
safety
9
car,
laps.
It's 11 if that were to come. But
It's
of
what we
course,
like
the
to
field's
see,
so
right?
bunched, it's the track
Formula
position
1's
that
back,
you lose at
baby.
this stage.
Oh,
As you
yeah.
said, he's down
This is what I
in
want to see
16th
every single
place.
race.
Bunch
None of
cars
this
ahead
people
that
win
he
by
should have
32
little
seconds anymore.
difficulty getting
Okay?
past, and Stroll,
I'm done with that
Bortoleto,
time.
Perez,
It's a
and
new
then
time.
Brad is
It's a new
probably
time.
where it starts to get a little
Lap
more
10.
tricky.
So
Cleared a
let's
lot
just
of
see
them
here.
already,
Lap
hasn't he, after that
deleted,
start,
track limits
and
deleted.
managed to come through. So
Piastri, that track limits deleted. Turn 17 is also involving
hoping
Lawson
that he
and
can come
Gasly
through
will be
quickly before
investigated
any rain
after the
does
race.
fall, if it falls. And
Lawson
if it doesn't,
causing
if it
a
somehow misses
collision. I
us,
think
then
Lawson's going to get a
everyone's
penalty
gotta
there,
take
which is
a
well
20
deserved
second pit
because
stop, assuming
he
there's no more
literally
safety
just
cars.
turned into Gasly
Saying
and
fortune
rolled his
favours the
car.
brave, and that's
Absolutely needs
clearly
to be
what Red Bull
investigated.
aiming for victory rather
it's
than
Gasly there.
just trying
who
to
else
build
here?
points.
Okay.
We're behind the safety car on lap 10 of 57 here at Miami International Autodrome. First race held here in 2022. Last year's was the best.
Like they have cleared up.
We'll call that the best so far because it has been very dramatic to start things off in 2026.
I'm so hungry, guys. I just want to know about this play. Oscar Piastri here. He has a possible short shower on the lap. Oh, we're going to see some rain. We're going to see some rain. That could be
engineers covering all
heavy,
the
but
bases
not.
there.
Oh, they're saying a
Possible
short stint
heavy.
of rain is about to approach
that
the
means
track.
To me, if I'm driving,
Oh
I'm thinking this is a
shit!
stay out and stick
It's
job,
about
isn't it?
to go
you don't
down.
pit for short duration
Oh!
heavy. You just
Nice. This is what I
somehow
like to see.
keep it
Why
on
are
the
you
road
wearing a
on what will be
vest,
quite
Lawson? You're
worn
such a
medium
knob.
tyres at
Oh
that
my
stage
god.
for Roscoe. That is the hardest
Okay, so they're
skill for a
still
racing
clearing
driver to have to do.
Hedgehog's
Let's bring in Ruth
car.
Buscombe, our strategist, for an overview
out
on
of
the
track
decision
13.
taken by
I think
Max
he had a bit of a
Verstappen
bad
and
one. I
Red
think
Bull
they're probably
Ruth.
fixing the barrier a bit
Love
there.
it, great.
So it looks like we might have a couple
those tyres
more
can get
laps
to the
under
end
the
of the race.
safety
He did
car.
45 laps back in
I
2023
might have to
to
stuff
win on
my
the
face
reverse
at the burger
strategy.
real quick.
Taking
But I'm
that
going to
cheap
do that
stop
off
makes
screen
sense.
really quickly.
Little to
Okay,
lose,
so just
lots to
ignore
gain.
me
He can
for
now
2
lean on
seconds
that
while
tyre and go
I
through
just
the field.
munch on my
The
burger.
question mark is if that rain will come. If it comes in the medium window around 25, he'll lose out. But if it comes later, he could even get to gain by going further into the race.
Thank you, Ruth. We're behind the safety car on lap 10 of 57. Charles Leclerc taking the lead of the race was nearly taken out twice in the opening 2 corners.
What are you eating?
But by the time he got to turn 5, he
you
had
have.
the lead and he built a gap.
Still under safety car.
Lando Norris got past Kimi Antonelli. Antonelli led the race at
Hedgehog.
one point. We have 4
Hedgehog bricked
retirements.
it.
Nico
He just bricked
Hulkenberg.
it.
Liam
Gasly has
Lawson
a-
making contact with Pierre
has an
Gasly.
excuse,
Isaac
but
Hadjar
Hedgehog-
clipping the
No,
apex
he
wall
bricked it.
at turn
I'm telling
14.
you now.
Undoing what
I'm
was
telling you
an
now.
entertaining cameo
That
of
second Red Bull seat is
multiple
cursed.
passes.
But
We've had the marshals recovering the cars,
Hedgehog.
which is why we've had this extended safety car period.
I think we'll break the
notable
curse.
decision made.
I think Hedgehog has a very
Verstappen
similar
coming
driving
in,
style to
getting
Max
rid of
Verstappen.
medium
Max
tyres
has,
and
like if you're
shifting
playing Formula
to
1,
the hards.
the game, right? And you turn all the settings up to
He
max.
barely covered it,
Max.
but how important was that pass for Norris as well? Just
and the
before
car
the
becomes
safety
like,
car
like
came
he
out.
just
It
touched
was
the steering wheel, the
just
car
the
will fly
one
into
straight
him.
before.
That's
So
how
in the-
Max drives. He's a hyper
the timing of
oversteer
yo-yo
driver. Now,
racing,
that is
when
an
you have a safety
insanely
car,
hard
that is a
style
hard
to master
reset on,
as a Formula
on
1
the
car.
yo-yo coming
And
back to
as
the
Max...
hand, isn't it? And it's come back to the
Okay,
hand with,
wait, safety
with
car is
Norris
ending.
now
Safety
in
car is
second
ending. I
place,
think we're
the
back.
Sprint race winner.
We are there on
has
track.
good
They still
race
got to do a
pace.
full lap, but the
McLaren with
safety car is
upgrades on
probably
the
coming
car,
in
and with the safety
after
car
this lap. Safety
ending
car is
now, they're
rounding
gonna
turn
all
8.
recharge the
We're
batteries.
going into turn 9,
And
so we've got a bit of time
Norris
there.
could be having a look at,
But yes, while they're
chasing
getting to the end there, Max
Charles Leclerc
Verstappen,
out front.
Yeah, look, I think
as
that's
he
a good
drives the
reminder
car
that even if you
and
think a
updates the
safety
car
car's
during the
coming,
season, he
you've got to
gets
keep
more and
pushing
more
until that
oversteer
point, that
as
information
the
comes in
season
your
goes
dash.
and
It was
fine-tunes
quite
the
a
car for
slow
hyper
reaction
oversteer.
to the
And
information
hyper
coming out,
oversteer is
especially
such a
with two
crazy
cars
way to drive because you don't
clearly
take
needing
corners
to be
in a
recovered,
smooth,
but we'll get
in a
into that in the
smooth easing,
post-race
right?
analysis.
You take a corner almost like
it was
an
Piastri
ease
and
and then a
Russell
straight
that were
line.
side
It's
by
really
side and
hyper.
nose to tail
And
for a while.
Hedgehog
If Piastri
has a
had
very
just made it
similar
through and
style
then you
to
had the
Max.
safety car,
So
which
I
was
really think
was
Hedgehog
it not
has the
pulled
potential
earlier?
to
Because it
break
was
the
obviously
curse
gonna
of that
come,
second
but
Red Bull seat.
It didn't make
But,
any difference
you know,
in,
then
in
again,
that part. Russell now
the
lining up
dynamics
behind his
going on
teammates,
within the Red
first and
Bull
fifth on the grid,
team
third and
as a
fourth
whole.
on the track.
The restart is coming your way once we make our way through the back straight round the
Safety
hairpin
car
at
coming
turn
down the main
17,
straight.
and then you can overtake, but only
We are
when you
going to be
cross the
ending soon.
start-finish line.
Leclerc
As the
in
rules
first
for the
position.
drivers ahead.
No
Trying
one
to
has
get the
pitted
battery
except
charge
Max
to
Verstappen, who
deploy
is
the
on
energy
4-lap
when
old
required.
hard tyres. Everyone else is on
Charles Leclerc
10-lap
leads from
old
Lando
mediums.
Norris. Then you have
What is
Kimi
Charles going to
Antonelli,
do here?
ahead of his teammate George
Charles is
Russell.
holding up the pack
Oscar
here as
Piastri
the
is in
safety
fifth,
car
then
rounds turn
Hamilton and
17 to
Colapinto.
come into
Remember
the
what we
pit
saw from
lane.
them on the
Charles
opening lap.
holding it up on the
And
main
then
straight,
the
obviously
Williams
not wanting
pairing
to give
of
anyone
Alex Albon ahead
an
of Carlos
advantage
Sainz,
down that
Oliver
straight. I
Behrman
think he's
ahead of
probably going to
Esteban
go
Ocon
in that corner
to
on turn
Charles
17.
Leclerc.
It would make
To
the most
dictate the
sense
pace,
to
he
do
has
it
to let
right
the safety
there
car go back
because you've got
to
the
pit
best
lane
opportunity to
when
get
we go
away
back to
as you come
full-speed
out of that
racing
corner.
in the
So
jurisdiction of the
Leclerc holding
Ferrari
up the
man.
whole
Tell you
grid,
what,
as you can see
Norris
from the
is
track here.
sniffing
He's
his exhaust
literally
pipe,
holding up the
not
whole grid.
giving him
Is he
any
going to go
chance
on
to
turn
sort of bolt
17? He's
early.
got to, right? Yep, he does.
Slow, and now
He
he
takes it
goes,
off
Leclerc.
out of turn
He
17, puts the
launches
foot on
back
the
to
gas.
full-speed racing. The green flag
Norris
flies once again
trying
at
to
Miami
follow.
International, and it's a good
Who is
restart
going to make a
for
move
Charles
here? No
Leclerc
one.
in
It
the
looks like a bit
opening
of an
meters.
even go
He
there.
uses
Is anyone
the
going to make a
straight
move
mode and the
down the
rotisserie
finish
rear
straight?
wing.
Nope.
It's Leclerc. Leclerc.
Everyone coming
Then
into
it's
the
Norris
first corner.
under the inside.
Oh, looks like
Is
Piastri's making a move on George Russell. He's going to take it on the outside. Piastri on George Russell. Is Hamilton going to make a move on Russell now? Oh my goodness. That was really well played by Piastri. I don't know how he made that overtake. He had literally very little battery left. So I don't quite know what happened there. George Russell just had no power.
To allow Piastri through. I mean, that
wasn't even defending on the inside.
The way they were lining up.
Happening with George?
But he just gave Oscar the space, and he had the drive on the exit.
Leclerc doing well to defend. Norris very close, though, tracing super hard. Kimi Antonelli chasing even harder.
Just allowing
Piastri and Russell,
he would have been
I think, are in
entitled
their
to do
own
that.
battle, but Hamilton
just all out of
also
sorts
pushing
here on this racetrack.
extremely hard there,
not
but
been a
is
happy hunting
being
ground for him.
really held up by Colin Pinto. Not held up,
15th
Colin
position.
Pinto
Gabriel Bortoletto
putting
is
some
the next
pressure
car
on
ahead of him.
Hamilton, which is
Sergio Perez
surprising.
gets up to
I feel
12th
like
position. He's
Hamilton
passed
has a
our
lot of
limit.
pace there. I really do. I feel like he has more pace than he's showing right now. Oscar Piastri saying that was super dangerous by Russell. What are you talking about, bro? You're on the outside.
Very close to the back of the
inside.
Audi through 14 and 15. Main frame, Charles Leclerc out front by 7/10 of a second, by 5/10 of a second. How close can Norris get?
Where is Max Verstappen? Down in 15th
just
position.
shape for a move, just trying to make himself large
yet, but I
in
think
the Ferrari's mirrors. Winner of the sprint race yesterday in Grand Prix qualifying, McLaren fell back. The Ferrari is updated, the McLaren is updated. Norris has won a Grand Prix around here
chasing
before.
down Leclerc. Is he going to make a move
he
on the
could not
inside?
get past the race leader in a wheel-to-wheel battle, and his teammate was able to get through and build a gap.
Like Mercedes hasn't
away
been
from each
quite
other.
as good
They are
at
very,
switching
very
back
close.
on those
As you
medium
can see
tyres.
on the track tracker at the
No
top.
panic for Antonelli,
This is
he
a
can
very,
watch
very
what's going
close
up,
top
going
three
on up
position.
front.
Okay, you can
But
see
it looks
Kimi
like
Antonelli gains
that
a
time
massive
behind the safety
advantage
cars
on the
cost him a
straights.
little bit of performance.
All right, if you look at the deltas,
Perez into turn
he gets a
one.
massive advantage on the straights.
front end looks really good.
Leclerc
Norris is able to
and
hustle
really
in on the
capitalised
entries,
on the
get to an
corners. Both those
apex,
cars are
straighten off
true
the exits, and it
for high
means he's
speed
very
slow
close
speed
to Charles
corners,
Leclerc
which is
here.
why
It's a big
Leclerc is hanging on to
opportunity
this
for
thing.
Lando
I don't
Norris.
think
He won
Leclerc is
his
going to
first
hang on to
Grand
this
Prix
one. I
around
really
this
don't. I
circuit
want him
in
to so
2024.
bad, but it looks like Norris is going to take him on the
Time
outside
for
down
another
in the
race
straight
leader,
of
and
15.
his name
Is Leclerc going to come back on the inside? I don't think so. Norris has
versus
it
Mercedes,
into
and
turn
now it's
12.
Norris's turn
Unbelievable.
to hit the field.
All right,
Yeah, but
Norris,
as he
I'll
battled
give
out
that
on
to
the
you.
brakes,
That was
that's
fair and
allowed
square. Kimi
Antonelli to
Antonelli
come
having a
into,
sniff at the
onto
exhaust
the
of
back of
Charles
the car
Leclerc,
of the Ferrari.
putting immense pressure. I don't think Charles is going to last much longer with Kimi Antonelli breathing down his neck down the straight. I don't think he's going to last here.
And Charles Leclerc hit that
Kimi
debris.
pushing,
The Ferrari
all arrow
made
is
contact
open. Is
with
he
the
going to make a
carbon
move
fibre. Kimi
down
Antonelli
the inside? I don't
trying to
think
make
he's
a move
quite
on
there.
Charles
Looks like
Leclerc
he's going to
once
go for it
again.
on
This
the
time for
inside.
second place.
He's going to miss his braking points.
Trying to
He's
make
going to
it
miss
late
it.
on the
No,
brakes.
he goes on the
The
inside.
Mercedes to the
He
apex
takes
first.
it. Top.
And Kimi Antonelli, the
Turn 17,
championship
Kimi
leader,
Antonelli.
is
The
back up
pace
to
on that
second.
Mercedes
Charles
straight line
Leclerc
speed is
hustling,
mental.
trying
Come
to
on,
find a
Charles,
way
you can
back
come
through.
back. Down the
Looking to
finish
make that
straight, you can
immediate
take him
pass.
back. He does it.
Silver
Charles
arrow
Leclerc comes
versus
back on the
Scarlet Ferrari,
outside.
and Charles Leclerc
Down into
is
turn
back
one.
up to second.
That's what we like to see from Ferrari,
Allowed
baby.
Lando to
Oh
just build
yeah,
a bit of a gap out front though, so that'll be a reprieve
Nice.
for Norris, who would have
Taking
used
back
a good amount
position
of
from
energy
Kimi Antonelli
on the
down
last lap
into
to clear
turn
the
one.
Ferrari. But
Love
they
to
have to
see
worry
it.
about two
Love to
people,
see it.
don't
What's
they?
Kimi
So
gonna do
you
there?
have, if you want to go
Have a
all
quick
out
little
attack
look.
and it doesn't work, you're going to lose
This
two
is the-
places
this
with the way that
is-
they're bunching
this
up.
is what
That
Max
bit of a
Verstappen's all
reprieve,
about. When
1.2
we last
seconds now
talked about
is
Max
the best
Verstappen, he
thing
was
for Norris
15.
because he's got
He's currently
Leclerc
in
more than
12th.
a second away.
That was 2
If
laps
he can
ago.
just manage to get that battery topped up,
Max
get into a
Verstappen's
decent
not
window
human.
here, then this
Okay?
could be his
Let's
chance
just
to see what the
be clear
pace
here.
of the McLaren is.
This
And
guy-
I think it
this
looks pretty good,
guy,
guys. The way that
he's not-
Piastri was
he's
able
not
to clear
human.
Russell,
I'm
he was already
convinced.
chasing Russell before
Kimi
the safety
Antonelli
car.
putting some pressure on
Here
Charles
comes
Leclerc. Is he
Antonelli.
going to take him on the inside again? There is a
Antonelli
massive battle
diving
going
to
on
the
for second
inside at
place.
turn 11.
Oh, Kimi takes him into
Slightly
turn
wide.
12.
Is
And
there a
look, I
chance for
told you.
Leclerc to go
At the
around
beginning
the
of this race,
outside
turn
at
12 is
12
where it's all going to
single file
happen.
very
That
quickly.
sector
And the
is where it's
Mercedes
all going to
man is
happen.
ahead.
And Kimi
Antonelli,
takes
19
Charles
years of age,
Leclerc on
the
the
youngest
outside
ever
of
Formula
turn
1
12.
World Championship leader.
Charles
Back up
very
to
close.
second.
I think
No
Charles is
grip
going to
around
take
the
him back
outside
on
of
the
that
on the
long
finishing
right
straight.
hand,
I
and
really
no
do.
one rubber that in
Is
all
Charles going to
weekend
have the
long,
pace
and
here?
Charles
He's
knew that
within
rather than
speed.
try
Does he
it.
get the
This is the better
slipstream?
opportunity
I don't
then
know
for
if
the
he
long
has the
straight.
straight line speed that the Mercedes do.
Closing
We're going to
early
find
enough,
out right
though.
now. Charles
He'll be
doesn't
positioned
look
though
like he
for
has
the run
it.
down into
I
turn
don't
one.
think he does. He
already
just
had a
doesn't
bit too
have the
late
pace
into the
that
braking
the
zone
Mercedes
for
do. But
the
he
final
is
corner.
very close
But that
to
swap
Kimi
of
Antonelli.
positions still
Meanwhile,
helps Norris out front
Piastri
because
and
there was
Russell are in their own
1.5
battle for
seconds now clear
fourth
of
and
these
fifth
two.
position. Hamilton also
Leclerc
very
get
close.
back
So we
towards
got
Antonelli. In terms
Norris,
of actual race pace, they're all
Antonelli
very,
and
very
Leclerc
similar.
battling it
And
out
that's
for
why
second,
a little
third, and
mistake
fourth,
here, a
first,
bit
second, and
of
third.
energy
And Piastri,
management
Russell, and
that can give you
Hamilton
an advantage
battling it out for
elsewhere
fourth, fifth, and sixth.
can make all the difference.
As well.
Suddenly, Leclerc
I love
sliding
it.
a little bit, coming through turn
This is what
3
Formula
that
One is
time.
supposed to be all
They've
about.
also
I've had
got
so
to be
many
careful of
arguments
overheating
with friends
the
of
rear
mine
tyres when
about
they're
the
fighting
state
this hard.
of Formula One currently.
Close
Some
to
people hate the new
sprint race
regulations. Some
distance,
people
but of
love the
course
new new
got more fuel
regulations.
on board.
Some people
Now
say it's
we're on
completely
what we
autonomous
refer to as a
drivers.
green track, a track that's
I'm loving
had
this.
rain,
I think
had
it's
some of the
great.
rubber taken
Okay?
away. There was
Sure, it's
some
not
support racing
back in the days like the
earlier, as we saw
V12
McLaren
eras, but
sliding
it's
the
exciting
car.
racing, and that's really what we all
well,
want to see.
this is
Sport
allowing
needs more
Norris to
fans,
break away a
and
bit.
This is why
So
Max
good news for
Verstappen just
Verstappen
takes
as well,
Ocon
who is 12
down.
seconds
Where was
off the
he? Max
race
Verstappen
lead.
takes
So
Ocon
if everyone-
from
well, they all have to
turn
pit ahead of him.
5.
When they do, currently, Max will be
Turn
the race
4, yes,
leader
turn
without
5.
having to pit.
Max
So it's
Verstappen
worth keeping an
overtakes
eye on
Ocon.
him.
Excuse me,
And
Benjamin.
the clouds
No,
ahead,
Ocon,
which
yes,
are getting a
it's
little
turn 11.
darker.
I mean,
and we're
into
expecting
position
that
11,
rain
which
to
is my
fall
lucky
soon.
number. Come on, Max, let's go.
Yeah, on the menu
Max
for
taking
you
a
in the next
position
couple
a
of
lap,
laps.
technically.
The others getting to the end of their
Max
medium
taking a
tyres.
position a lap.
Coming in to
You
make
hate this shit. What
the
shit do you
mandatory
hate? Do
swap
you
to
hate the
another
Formula 1
compound.
regulations? Do you hate
There's no
upstream?
mandatory pit stop rule in Formula 1, but you must
What do
use
you
2
hate?
compounds
Be more
in a
specific,
dry
sir. I want to
race.
know. I
We're
need the
expecting that to be
specifics.
medium
Okay?
hard
I
across
like
the
to hear
course
all the
of the
opinions.
day.
of why people are
Also,
currently hating
the
it.
weather
Because
was
there's a lot of
predicted,
hates
we
out
heard on
there
the radio,
about the current
lap
regulations. And I do
25
agree with a
on
lot of them. I really do.
of
I think the super
57,
clipping's an
But it's
issue. I think the
looking to me
battery
just
split
getting
between
this
50-50 is a
updated
major
and
issue.
pinpointed
I
right
think
here
it's
in Miami
I think there
Gardens.
are some
The
issues,
rain
but it
likelihood
is producing some
disappearing.
pretty crazy racing at
There's
the
a
moment.
late
which
lunge. If
is
you're
kind
Max
of what we want to
Verstappen,
see.
I think he
Antonelli
cleared Oliver
down the
Behrman
main straight. I
into the
don't think
braking
Leclerc
zone
has the speed
off
here.
turn 17.
Because
He did,
Piastri
and he
is
moves
catching
up to 10th
Charles very
position.
quickly.
Verstappen's confidence on the brakes, looking like the Verstappen of last year when he won the final 3 Grand Prix in a row.
I'm dying
he was
to know
on the podium 10
Soldier
times in a row
RZN
to close out the year.
2340.
Yellow flag momentarily
Tell me.
waving around the
Tell me.
circuit. Now withdrawn.
Verstappen
What have we
knows
missed?
he
Let's take a
cannot
look down
afford to
at
mess around
the
and
track.
waste a lap
Sainz and
or even a
Albon doing
sector
super well
fighting
in
with
8th
the
and 9th
Haas guys.
position.
Lim Blad, he's
Really
got the
good track
Williams
position
duo
there. Colin
up
Pinto
next, who are both
surprisingly
running in
still
the
in
top 9
7th.
still. He needs to side his way through because he's
think that
still in
Alpine's where
contention
it's
here
meant
when this
to be.
shakes
I
out.
really
If
don't.
that rain doesn't fall,
But we'll see. We'll see.
Pretty
4 cars are
worn,
currently
hard
off
tyres
track.
by
Do you
the end
know?
of this, but they
Do you know
should be able
that
to go to the
in
end
the 4
still.
races that we've had,
And
I've seen
he's
more
taken that
DNFs.
pit
I mean, in Japan we had 8 cars.
Verstappen is in
Was
the
it 8
left-hand
cars? I think
side
it
of your
was 8
picture.
cars
You also have the
that were
nature
off track.
of drivers
I mean,
like
shit, we didn't even
Colapinto,
see
Sainz,
that
and
in the
Albon, who are
V12
thinking
here.
about their race.
Like, that was
Alex
unheard
Albon's
of.
not scored
And,
points
like,
since
this is supposed to be the
September
most
last
reliable
year in
area
the
of
Italian
Formula
Grand
1.
Prix. He will be desperate to get back
all of a
into
sudden,
the top 10.
you've got 8 cars off
Carlos
track.
Sainz
What is
will be
happening
desperate
there?
to stay
So,
ahead, and
yeah,
Colapinto. It's having a great
yeah,
all-round
that-
weekend.
I think-
It's the last Alpine.
I think
they
that
have
for me, the
no
main issue
interest
currently
in
while we
Max
watch
Verstappen
Norris
at 2,
going down the
who's
main
still a
straight,
contender for
I
the
think
major
he's just
places in this Grand Prix.
done the
Yeah,
fastest
look,
lap.
this would
Norris
be a
has. He's just done the fastest
major
lap.
result
Norris
for
is-
Williams right now,
Norris is
given the
flying
start
ahead
to the
yet.
season.
Antonelli has fallen
So,
behind. Whether
as
they're
you
playing
see
some
there,
kind of one-stop
incident.
strategy. I mean, we're
We'll see
15
if
laps
there's any
into
action
these
taken on
mediums,
that.
so at some point
the white
the
line
strategy
on
is going to
pit
have to
exit, so he
come
was
to
under
play.
safety
Max
car,
Verstappen
racing
looking down the
somewhat
main
to,
straight. He's
present
late
like,
braking.
Whoa,
Wow.
from
Massive late
miles
braking on
back.
Alex
Max
Albon. Shit,
Verstappen.
Max, what a move. Alex
Oh,
Albon
too
on the
far
inside
back,
the
and
game.
Alex
What a
Albon
battle between Max and
doesn't
Alex.
give him the room.
Holy
His
shit, Alex
former
did well to
teammate
keep that
shown
position.
to the extremity
Saw
of the
Max
white
late
line.
break
And
down into
Albon
turn 17. Alex
continuing on.
capitalized on
Sainz
that,
is the
took
lead.
the
Williams
outside
here.
line.
There's the
and
move
was
to turn
able
1.
to retain that
And
position. So
Verstappen
good job
just
from Alex
carving
there.
his way through, and that
to retain
continues.
that position. But it looks like Max has
Well, look,
come
that was some
back.
brilliant defensive driving there from Albon.
He has.
But in
Max
the
has
end,
come back
the
and
inevitable
taken that
happens,
position
and
away
all
from
that's happened
Albon.
is it just gave a
Incredible
bit of
driving.
breathing
Max
space to
Verstappen is
Sainz.
insane to watch.
He'll
Holy
be
shit.
in the,
This is
the
really,
same
really
place
impressive
probably this
driver.
lap though, won't he?
I mean,
Max is
say
in
what
no
you want
mood
about Formula
to
1,
wait
say what
around.
you want about the
Piastri passed
regulations,
Leclerc.
but watching Max
He's
drive.
through. The McLaren driver is through.
Lewis
But for how much longer?
No!
Piastri
No!
deploying the energy. And Charles Leclerc,
No!
who hasn't won a Grand Prix
Oh
since
my
the
God.
USA in
Leclerc
24 when we raced
passed-
in Austin, Texas.
Piastri passed Leclerc.
Says no more,
Leclerc
no more. But look, he's lost a
passed
huge
Piastri
amount
again
of
into
time.
turn
He's
12.
4
I
seconds
told you
off
that
the back of
sector is where
Antonelli.
He's
people
had
are
an
gonna do the
issue.
most
He's had an
overtaking.
issue, and
That
suddenly
is
I don't know,
crazy.
he
Piastri
found a
lost
different
40.
mode
He
or
had
something.
Leclerc,
So
but
Piastri just
Leclerc
passed
doing
him
so
past.
well to
Then
drive
Charles has managed
defensively
to get it
and
sorted
capitalize
get
on
back
where
through,
people
but
have the least
he was
amount of
close to
battery.
Antonelli, and
That
now he's
is-
3
that
seconds
is really
back. So
clever driving
something
from
is going to
Leclerc
arrive for
because
Charles Leclerc on that
those
lap,
fast
and
straights,
it's brought
I mean, those
Piastri
slow
back into play for a
corners are
podium.
really where you can
For the
capitalize
moment,
on
it becomes a
overtakes.
two-horse
Because
race for
Piastri coming
victory,
down,
and it
the main
becomes a
straight,
multiple-car
full
battle
arrow
now
is
for the
open.
final
Is he
step
going to make a
on the
move on
podium.
Charles? I think he's quite far
Lando
behind.
Norris
But now,
trying
Hamilton
to
and
win his
Russell
first
are
Grand
now
Prix
catching
today
up to
since
Leclerc and
Brazil
Piastri
last year.
because of the battles
Antonelli
between
trying
these two.
to do a hat-trick
So,
of consecutive Grand Prix wins.
I don't know what's going to happen
3 in a
with
row.
Hamilton
He's never failed
and
to
Russell. It
convert a
seems
Grand
like
Prix pole, won the last 2.
from Piastri,
Today
Russell,
was his
Hamilton,
third,
Colapinto.
and he's been up and down the order.
There's some
in second
decisions
with
that need to
breathing
be
room,
made here in
crucially.
order for them to
At
really
the moment,
capitalize
for
on
the
what
first time in the Grand
what
Prix.
strategy you want to go
Leclerc
forward.
trying
When
win
to
for the
attack,
first
when
time
to
since Austin in
harvest.
2024.
Yeah.
Left-hand side of your picture.
But that's
was
really
the
the
side
issue,
of
you
Max
know, with these new
Verstappen getting
regulations questions comes 50-50 engine split between energy and petrol, and sure, it does bring a new era of Formula 1 that we've never seen before, but in the same breath, it also brings safety concerns, as we saw in Japan. You know, when Oliver Baumann is coming down a straight at 270 k's an hour, and Colapinto is doing 170 k's an hour,
that was from downtown Miami.
That kind of deployment power, you know, behind someone, because that's where people die. Okay, that'll hit the wall at 52 Gs.
He's on. You knew that was
and
coming,
for
but he
reference,
didn't wait around, did he? And,
the astronauts experience 9 Gs in the shuttle launch. So that kind of thing needs to be addressed. And the regulations looks like Piastri's on the outside, coming down. Oh my God! How did Piastri even do that? Charles Leclerc coming back at Piastri, takes the position again.
But then he's managed to just have more deployment and come back through.
Holy shit!
Wide earlier in the weekend in turn 8. He's
This is making you
struggled
wanna
to
toast a
rotate
cheese
the car
sandwich.
through 7 and 8
This,
across
bro.
the
Get
course
some of that. Look at
of
that.
a
Look at
weekend
that
that has
burger,
been
bro.
up and down for Ferrari,
Okay.
but that was a crucial move to get back ahead of Oscar
I've
Piastri.
only had one bite of this
Lando
burger.
Norris
Okay, I'm
leads this
dying
Grand
here.
Prix
I'm dying
firmly
here.
in the balance.
Oh,
2.6
thank you,
seconds,
Ab.
his advantage.
And we know Leclerc has pace in
Yes,
that
it's
Ferrari. He was
thank
just
you.
trying to get closer
Yeah,
to Antonelli.
And we expect
Jalapeno,
a shower in 2 to 3 laps, and we
cheese,
want
a
to
little bit of
survive it.
mushroom, a little bit of
Potentially come in
sriracha.
first on
Oh
sector
shit,
to
that's
second.
bad. That's the jam right there.
I think we're going to get the
Let's have a look at what some of the drivers are
comes
saying
down
here.
and the
Norris
drivers
Norris
have to
everything's
show
back
us
to
all
normal.
of their exquisite
Robert Lindblad
skill
saying
behind the
something
wheel on slick tyres on a
Okay,
wet
everything
track.
back to
Yeah,
power.
survive it on slicks rather than just there's a shower coming. Please don't crash.
Good, done,
It's
so no
please
serious
stay out
issues
on
from
these
the drivers.
tyres
This is
if
a
you
new thing
possibly
from
can.
Multiviewer.
And again, that is
Tells
going to be
you,
so challenging
what's
for
happening.
everyone. And
2.4,
they're looking for the
6.3,
last tenth of a
3.6
second
ahead. That's
here.
everyone's just talking
As soon
about
as you start to
laps and
get some
times,
rain down and you're
all
on
of that
slicks, you
jazz.
could be finding a second of
Lando Norris is
at
pulling
least
away
around the
here,
lap.
unfortunately. 3.1 seconds ahead of
Lando
Antonelli.
Norris
I hate to
getting
see
the
this
hammer
shit.
down.
This is in fact a
2/10 of a
homemade
second
burger.
faster
Doesn't
than
look
Kimi
like
Antonelli on the last lap. Antonelli now responding
Look at that shit.
on this lap. Ebbing and flowing at a 3-second
So
margin.
hungry. I just want to munch this thing, but I
on
don't
the
want
last
to do it
camera
on
lens.
stream.
It's definitely getting
Because
darker
I'll look
outside
like
of
a
our commentary box
freaking
window.
caveman.
And I'm
I
definitely
don't want to
stop
subject
looking at
my
my
viewers
radar
to
on my phone
my
because it's
caveman
saying
like.
no rain predicted right now.
We're going to get you another wrap. It's fine. Norris, Antonelli, Leclerc, Piastri, Russell, the top 5.
This is the part of the race I hate.
Ahead of
I always hate.
Leto very close
Back
to
in the olden days when we watched Schumacher
for the drivers making their
and,
way through turn
you know,
12, battling for
Prost
13th position.
and all
And
Nigel
Leto's
Mansell
ahead.
and all of those really great
British
drivers in
driver
the center
4
and
tenths
stuff
of a
like that.
second
When we
behind
watched
now,
them,
back out front. In
there
the
were such
podium
crazy
battle.
moments throughout the race,
You can see
and I feel like in
tyres
the
being
new era of
worn
Formula One
away.
now,
Bottom left of your
it's-
picture.
you
can
have
see a
these
little bit of
moments in
wear
the race
on the
where
rear
there's
tyres of the
these
Ferraris.
lulls,
It's
where
half a
people
second
get into
slower
these
on the last
error
lap
or
than
DRS
Norris out
chains,
front. Norris is doing a
and
really
the race
good job
kind of
actually,
tapers
three tenths
off
quicker than
as people
Antonelli
wait
as well.
for
So having
pit
made his
stops
way
and
to
the
the
next
front,
strategy,
he's
and
just
then
starting to
you know
show
the
the
mid
pace of the
part of the
McLaren,
race becomes
that
really
upgraded
like
McLaren
hard
that
to
has been
watch,
working
and it
so
becomes
well
a bit of a snooze
all the way
fest.
through
And I
this
hate
weekend.
that kind of shit. It drives me nuts,
That
bro.
investigation for
We don't want to
Verstappen
see that
will
stuff.
happen after
And,
the race, as we
you
see
know,
declared
especially
there.
when you like
Meanwhile,
compare
he
it
is
to
within a
American
second.
motorsports or
Colin
like
Pinto.
That's my
Le
pet
Mans,
hate, that
or even though Le Mans show
investigate
is
something
also
that you
quite a
can
bit
just
boring,
see
but
as black
you know,
and
there's
white
different
after
categories
the
of cars,
race.
so it's quite
So
fun
he
to
does
watch.
first, and then see
That
the
car also very cool.
And I guess
If you watch
I guess he must feel there might be
MotoGP
some
and the
mitigating
backing guys,
circumstances.
my
We've not
God,
seen
if
it,
you're
of
not
course.
watching good racing,
And maybe the
holy
opportunity
shit,
in a
that
lull in the
MotoGP
race to get a
guys are
replay. But
absolutely
meanwhile,
crazy
he
to
continues
watch.
his march
It's,
forward.
it's another
Still
sport,
only
so
15 seconds.
that's why
behind Norris, the race leader.
all of my friends that hate the new regulations for
Yeah,
Formula
still in the
1,
mix, Max Verstappen. He's been on those hard
whoa,
tyres for
Antonelli
13
just
laps
caught up
now.
500 to the
So that
second.
was a
Looks like
decisive
Antonelli is
move
making a
early
little
on
push
under
here
the
to
safety car
Norris.
to go for the
He
cheap
was
pit
just
stop
put
and
in
to
the
go for the
fastest
new
lap
rubber for the
again.
driver
Now,
who spun
Antonelli
the opening
definitely on
turns
the
of the
charge
Grand
mode
Prix.
here.
So his last lap
They're
was
looking
similar
at their
pace to
pit windows
Antonelli.
of
It was
about
3/10
25
slower
laps. So
than
we're going to
Norris,
see
but you
here
can
if
see on the
these
left-hand
guys
side
actually...
he's now stuck in behind
We're gonna
Colin
try-
Pinto,
I
and
think
every
Norris is
time
pushing
he's
for track
following one of
position,
these
but it's really
slower
gonna come
cars,
down to the first
he
lap.
is seeping
The
more
first,
time, so it could be a
first pit
second
stop.
this
So
lap.
we'll see where
That's why an
he ends
11-second
up,
gap
but
has gone to
McLaren's pushing
16
hard.
seconds.
Hamilton falling
Still,
way
he's in
behind here.
contention here, but remember he's going to be on those
No, excuse me,
really,
that's Colin
really
Pinto falling way
worn
behind
hard
here.
tyres
But yeah,
at the end of this race, and Norris will be on
I don't know,
fresher
hey,
ones once he pits.
it's just... I'm
Colin
trying to
Pinto
support the
having
new
a great
regulations
weekend
as best
in
as
seventh,
possible.
about to
Even
drop
though-
to 8th.
Okay,
It's
looks like they're
interesting to
boxing
see
Russell
how hard
at
he defends.
lap 19. Tire. I don't know if that's a smart
Pinto
move by Mercedes.
Opens the door.
I feel like these mediums
He's
have a
looking
lot
for big
more-
points. He's looking for a great Grand Prix
a lot
result.
more lap life
Yesterday
in them
was his personal best in Grand Prix qualifying,
20
and he
laps.
knows that he
I'm
doesn't
not
want to
sure
lose
why
any
they're
time
pitting
fighting Max
Russell right
Verstappen. Into the pits
They're probably
and changing
going for
tyres.
an
George
over-
Russell, as it
an-
gets
an
darker,
undercut.
still out of the commentary box window.
Yeah,
Well,
that
maybe
looks like they're
Mercedes
going
had
for
the same radar that I do, because you would
Russell
not
Bottom top
pit him
position off of
now
that pitch.
if you think there's going to be
Everyone else above him
a
hasn't pitted
little bit
except for
of rain
Verstappen.
coming
Now, Verstappen
within the
could
next
really
couple
come
of
out
laps.
ahead
This is
here.
Russell with a chance to get back
14
towards
laps on
these
those hard
two.
tyres,
So
showing
they,
no signs
on your
of
app, I think,
major
DC, they are
degradation. So
absolutely sure that it's
good
not going to
play
rain.
out in
Otherwise,
Red Bull's
that's
hands.
a real
I don't
nightmare
know,
call
though.
for Russell. But this
Do
is
you
now
think
crunch
Max is
time.
gonna win
Out-lap
this
critical
race?
for Russell. This has got to be in-lap critical for
I mean, Max
Leclerc
is
and
currently in
Piastri,
sixth
unless they're on a
position. He was
different weather
15th.
forecast, in which case they'll stay
8
out.
laps ago.
Surveying the scene, what are you seeing there, weatherman?
Well, I don't want to lose faith
Swear
in
to
my
God.
app, and I'm looking at that. Looks like it's
Yeah, there's
grey,
definitely some
but you
pushing
don't
going on
see
there
those
between Norris
dark
and
sort of
Antonelli.
cells that we had earlier in the day.
I think they've lifted the clouds slightly, haven't they?
Man, if you could go to
on the
any
replay,
race,
I'm informed by those who have seen one
like if
that
money
Max
wasn't an
Verstappen
issue, if you
doesn't
could go to any
obviously
race
cross
on the Formula 1
line
schedule,
at the bottom.
where would you go?
So whether there's a
Such
positional
a hard
issue of
decision,
where he
man.
came out, There's a line that comes across
I probably want to go to Italy
that decides
because
the order
like,
when
Rome
you're
is
peeling
right
back
there,
out of the pit lane.
like,
Into the pit lane comes the
country.
Ferrari man.
I mean, I've lived all over the world.
Leclerc comes into the pits. Piastri promoted to third. And where will George Russell shake out? The undercut isn't particularly powerful here.
Go there for
you
the
do
race
get the fresher rubber if you come in early.
Big stop for Ferrari.
Okay, it looks like they're pitting Charles Leclerc.
Slow on the front.
Are they going into hards?
They got the best pit stop so far this year at 2 seconds. That was 3.7 when it counts. And wait for the silver Mercedes that's going by, that's going through, and it was a really difficult restart for George Russell. But he's going to power by, and that slow stop has cost Charles Leclerc. One-time race leader, now tumbling down the order.
So it looks like Charles trying to cover an absolute display of the importance of teamwork in this digital world.
Looks like
one of the
Ferrari's
most analog moments. The pit stop can make the difference.
There's more reports of rain coming in here. If we see some rain, shit is going to hit the fan. Okay, doesn't care. I don't care what you say about anything else in the sport. But when rain comes, all hell breaks loose, and that's what we like to see.
And that's the difference. So a podium is gone.
See the live track
Piastri
here.
stays out as well. So Oscar waiting for a better tyre advantage
quickly,
later on.
While there's
that's Russell clearing Esteban. Ocon yet to stop. Russell taking on new rubber. He's on the hard tyres. He's past the Ferrari. He's past the Haas. Crucially for his race, he's back ahead of Charles Leclerc.
Oh shit! Oh shit! You see that shit? You see that red shit? Red means bad. Red means bad. Track here.
Charles Leclerc asking the question. If it comes down heavily and forces everyone into driver changes, they've lost 20 seconds from their race time. Totally unnecessarily.
Oh shit, guys, we could have some rain. Oh boy.
Didn't have an answer.
Oh boy.
Chose, not to broadcast it to us, but
oh my god,
the frustration clear for Leclerc.
And then Russell is 12 seconds behind Verstappen. So when we're saying there's a battle for a podium, it might not be unless they can go and catch Max, who stays out.
We might have a race,
again,
guys.
Doesn't need to pit.
Let's hold on. Let's hold on for a little bit longer.
At the weather
Just hold
for their one man left in the
what
race. And if that rain doesn't fall, Max is still in a decent position.
Just like me.
That looks nothing like yours, DC.
Love it.
No, I did probably got the upgraded
where are we at?
I'm Scottish after all. I didn't spend extra money.
What are the drivers saying?
David Coulthard, Jolyon Farber. In commentary with me, Alex Jakes, wherever you're watching this one. Great to have your company. Here's another pass for George Russell. Getting past Ollie Behrman into the fast sweepers that begin the lap. Behrman yet to stop. He's on old medium tyres. Russell with a superb Mercedes on a hard tyre goes through.
Possible rain in the next couple of laps.
So nothing really crazy happening there.
First could get heavy.
Okay, they're saying it's possible that there's going to be rain in the next
Two
couple
drivers
laps.
next to me
are you guys ready
are
for this
smiling
shit?
at the engineer's call. Tell us why, gentlemen.
I'm ready for rain.
I spoke to the teams earlier on. I spoke to Alpine. They said there's going to be an absolute deluge.
This is where we.
I went down and spoke to someone at Ferrari. Said no, we think it'll be a dry race. And this is exactly what's playing out. But they're having to make crucial strategy calls that will affect the outcome on the fly. McLaren is staying out waiting for that
2.5 seconds
rain.
ahead.
Ferrari obviously suddenly think it's not coming. Mercedes maybe never did.
Well, traditionally what happens is you send someone that's
Hamilton making some good pace. Verstappen is in 5th position. What is he saying?
Tell you,
oh my god, Hamilton is complaining.
So there was no
what is Hamilton
answer
saying?
offered. We would have broadcast it to you if there was. There was
Hamilton
no
is
answer
complaining
offered.
about,
and he's
strategy decisions.
Deep into the hairpin. He's losing more time.
That, so
a
we'll
frustrated figure right now, Charles Leclerc.
Yeah, so just to expand on what I was saying there before we got that radio message, it's traditional to have some member of the team,
the Ferrari team,
be upwind.
But Verstappen is in 5th position.
Just in case your local radar isn't giving you exactly the information
he has the potential to go to the end here.
Well, in the past, historically,
he's one crazy bastard. The guy could fucking pull it off. If anyone was going to pull it off, it would be Max Verstappen. Russell trying to make his way through the grid here. Right behind Alex Albon. I think he'll make short work of Alex down to turn 12 onto the finish straight. And then follow up
about
with
sport at this level on a changeable day of conditions. We are heading
I think
to lap
Lando
25
Norris,
next when the rain was predicted by McLaren
told
to
Kenny
arrive. They've
Antonelli
left
to go
both cars
get
out
Lando
as well.
Norris because this guy is pulling
the
away.
Williams of Alex Albon
Oh, George Russell making a move on
He's
Alex
trying to get out of the way of
Albon
George
down
Russell
the
because he doesn't want to lose
inside.
any time.
Great job
Russell
there,
goes through all those new hard tyres.
Yeah, Russell sat behind him for quite a while actually.
Turn 12, bro. I told you.
Scooped into the back of the Williams as well and should clear him on the next corner.
Oliver Behrman, okay, Ollie, small rain. Small rain cell above us.
Turn 16.
Best thing.
Here we go.
It'll happen anyway.
It's time
will be able to
for some rain, Mikeys.
Very easily
okay,
on the Williams, but it's about seeing the big picture.
I want to see the rain.
Runner, you're looking at
so we can have
total
some
race distance.
Is Lance Stroll in the race?
A piece of tarmac with a car that's much faster. It's just going to add race time.
Yeah, those Haas cars behind Ollie Behrman and Esteban Ocon have been pretty quick so far this year. No upgrades on them, and Williams have had plenty. Has managed to get them towards and into the midfield, really, and an impressive
you know that Aston Martin's qualifying
from
speed
a low start point this
was
year.
worse
and Albon
than
senses
Formula
there's points, and up the road is Carlos Sainz as well, just a couple of seconds ahead. So you're completely right. Their battle is with Haas today.
I feel sorry for them.
And needless to say, not Ferrari and Mercedes.
I think you got abused.
Charles Leclerc in 9th position at the moment, not too far away from George Russell, but crucially behind George Russell after that critical pit stop.
So the air quality is going,
Mercedes, 3.7 seconds, leaving 1.7 seconds on the table to their best.
Temperature is
so
going
far
down.
this
That
season.
means
Russell
things are getting
a
cooler,
lot
which
of the
means
road,
it's
really
this
rotating
rain.
the car through turn
Antonelli
8,
pushing hard now. He's done almost 1 second faster
that is
each lap.
Hamilton ahead, and Verstappen just took about 9/10 of a second out of on the last lap.
From Norris.
Fresher, hard
currently
tyres
1.9 behind Norris, so he's pushing super hard there. Piastri falling way behind.
Will he look to be defensive, or will he look at the gap to Piastri ahead and look big picture?
Hamilton was 1 second slower than Norris on the last lap, so Ferrari not actually having the race pace so far, but this could be a harder car to pass as well for Verstappen, who is still in a great position in this race if the rain doesn't materialise. Antonelli's slowly closing in on Norris as well. He's been putting in a string of laps 2-3 tenths quicker than the race leader, so that's still very much up for grabs.
On board with the 4-time world champion Max Verstappen, chasing the 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton. Few drops
Yes, people are saying that it's spitting in some parts of the track.
The onboard camera when we joined
we could see some developments, ladies and gentlemen. This is why we came.
Window. We're situated at the 19th turn of this circuit that runs to 3.3 miles in length.
People pushing these mediums beyond their life, I believe. But again, with lower track temperatures, you have potentially to push those mediums further than you need to. But no one really has track position right now.
Believe that it will
so
miss the
Russell
circuit.
is probably the only one that's really going to benefit here.
Those out front having to make a stop.
He has a position here to really capitalize on the pits.
Tires
because the longer you stay out on these mediums, the longer you give, or the more you give Russell a chance
little bits of rain have been reported 11, 12, 13.
That's where they're approaching as Verstappen comes to the inside.
Well, let's say
not given the chance.
If the teams are
Lewis
expecting,
Hamilton,
oh my God, who was that? Hamilton
taking the racing line,
Hamilton
staying ahead. Max Verstappen with the pace, with the grip, but not with the opportunity to get by at the moment.
Where did that come
George
from?
Russell is past Carlos Sainz.
An absolutely wild breaking point by Lewis Hamilton
with
to just steal a position. I didn't even think Max expected that.
To the race leader
Max now chasing down Hamilton down the main straight.
Seconds, so he doesn't want to drop outside of that pit stop window.
What happened there?
He's losing time all the while. Hamilton's fighting, and these guys had a big fight as well yesterday, didn't they? Verstappen's not afraid to lunge it.
Really, Max going on the inside, takes the position back from Hamilton. Hamilton giving him some space. Is Hamilton going to do anything down the finish straight?
His position to fourth.
They are pitted Kimi Antonelli on lap 26 of his medium tyres.
And McLaren
is
staying out with
Hamilton
going to
go on the inside? Is Kimi Antonelli going to come up ahead of Verstappen?
Hamilton in fourth. And let's see where Antonelli comes
up behind
out.
Hamilton.
Antonelli finds himself behind Verstappen then with the pressure
this is what happens now is the teams are expecting rain.
To catch up the 4-time champ.
So he's a fair way behind Verstappen,
it's going to
screw
so George Russell if rain comes out because George is 5 lap old hard. So if the rain comes and now everyone has to pit, well then you just wasted a pit stop on those hards because you're going to have to take the hards off. You're going to screw Russell. If the rain doesn't come,
the moisture out there,
and people have to pit,
his teammate who's still driving
well,
pretty
Russell
neatly
might be in a very, very good position because Norris, Piastri,
they've got to disregard the weather forecast, I think, and just cover off those in front of them, surely.
So Russell should end up
this late in the race with the tyres.
Third?
You've got to run your knowledge of the track conditions.
When they pit Norris and Piastri, that's what's all coming down to right now. Piastri
suggested, but it hasn't come.
Norris.
So that
means
looking very good for him.
They're boxing Lando Norris. Lando Norris is coming into the box. Where is he? Down the main straight.
Where Norris will pit,
coming into the finish pits. Okay, he's coming around to 17. Where is he going to come out here?
Not an easy driver to pass.
Look at Lando Norris squirming all over the road as he takes the last from his medium Pirellis.
Very close here.
You must change.
So they better make this pit stop quick as hell because as you can see from the track position there, Mr. Verstappen, Hamilton and Antonelli are very close. They pitted Norris. He's coming out of the pit lanes. I think he's going to do well to get way ahead of them.
Lewis Hamilton called in as well.
And actually clear
and
Piastri.
Antonelli is tearing into Verstappen's advantage. Here is Hamilton in the Ferrari
Piastri takes first position.
Piastri is yet to stop. He continues on.
Is Verstappen and Antonelli going to take that as well? Verstappen takes second.
Antonelli all over the back of Lando
Hamilton
Norris,
goes into
left-hand
the
side of your
pits.
picture. Antonelli
Verstappen
versus
now in
Norris.
second
This could
position.
be big. It's
On
huge for Kimi
21
Antonelli, and he
hard
gets past
tyres.
Lando Norris on the exit of the corner.
Norris now
The
on fresh
Italian
hard
driver
tyres.
now has to
How
close
is this
down
gonna
1
play
second.
out?
He's been roaring into
Because
the
if we
advantage
get
of
rain,
Max Verstappen.
this
who's
all
the
gonna
car
be
out
nothing.
front.
Hats off to Mercedes. They've called both
my
of their
God,
drivers
in
stops
heaven.
perfectly.
This might
Russell
be
through past
nuts.
Leclerc.
We see
Antonelli
rain,
past Norris.
boy
What
oh
can
boy,
Lando come back with? And all
is
the
shit
while,
gonna
Max
hit the fan.
Verstappen is now just in front.
Okay. Antonelli now on new hards. Norris now on new hards. Verstappen in second position. Piastri is not going to last
pace
long
in hand.
on
Lando
those
Norris has got to show
mediums.
us.
27
Does
lap
Oscar
old
Piastri
mediums
have
not
anything?
going to last
Verstappen with the
very
advantage
long,
out front
and he
with
does
the
not
old
have a
tyres.
massively. Now there's a
Antonelli
chain
with
up.
a big,
There's a pile up
big
here between
move
Max Antonelli
past
and
Lando
Norris. Max
and Norris will
clearly
want to
doesn't
play it
have
back.
the tire,
Different
the tire
teams,
that
different
he
drivers.
needs
Grand Prix victory
to
on the
keep
line.
I feel like this is it now.
Norris behind.
Verstappen's clearly struggling.
That's
Those
100%
hard tyres have been
confirmed.
put to work.
Okay, my boy Max
clearing all of
he's
the
not
midfield,
God.
and now
He's not God. Even though
the
we all think
fresher tyres are
Antonelli
on.
going on the
He's
inside of
surely not
10-17, he's
gonna
going to be able to do
Antonelli
this.
and Norris for
I
too
don't think
long.
Max
But
can
can Norris
defend from
pass
both
the Mercedes
Antonelli
once
and
again?
Norris.
This is the race-winning move right
Antonelli
here.
doesn't take
Norris
it though. I
knows
think
this could
on
well
the
be his
inside,
opportunity as Antonelli
down into the finish straight,
slightly
probably Antonelli is going to have a sniff
Piastri
here
comes
of
into
Max
the pits.
Verstappen's
This is
exhaust,
now
but
for the
Norris,
lead. Here we go,
Norris
Lando
overtakes
Norris trying to
Antonelli.
take back the place
No,
he lost
Antonelli
in these
defends on
corners
the
before.
inside.
Antonelli
Max
stays ahead.
probably
Can
praying a
Norris
bit
get
there
by?
because those two
Verstappen has the
battling gives
advantage,
Max a
and
bit
the
of a
early
breath
stop
of
has
fresh
given him the
air.
lead. But it's
To be able to
these
get,
two
you know,
who are the
some
danger
motion
for
ahead
victory.
there.
The silver Mercedes
That's how it
and the
goes
orange
with
McLaren.
Max.
Antonelli
Max,
versus
Carlos
Norris
Sainz
for the
in the
win.
pits.
But it's the advantage
Charles
for Max
Leclerc.
Verstappen.
And
Lap
Antonelli's in a
old
tight
hards.
spot, isn't he?
Let's see if there's
Verstappen's
anything
slower
happening
but ahead.
down
So
with
difficult
the
to pass.
drivers.
You've got Norris now just nipping at your heels, trying to
Lewis
take
Hamilton
that
saying he is
position
losing
back
time.
that could be so critical. They're on the long straight. Has Antonelli got
Gabriele
something to offer?
Bortoletto,
Yeah,
let's
look,
pick it
he'll
up.
dump his
Accurate on the
energy to
marks.
try and get a pass done
Oscar
on the outside,
Piastri
on the brakes.
boxing.
He's got it. Kimi Antonelli takes the
Water
lead.
is coming
Max
down on
Verstappen
the
loses one
pistons.
place. Hangs on to
Ooh, it
second
looks
for
like
the
there might be a
moment.
problem
Antonelli
with
needs
the
to give it
Ferraris.
everything in the next
Lewis
couple of
Hamilton
corners
saying
to
Water's
try
coming
and
down
build
the
a
pistons.
gap.
I don't know
Great
what
place to
mean by
pass,
that.
though, because
Also about
Verstappen is
internal
slow through these
engines or-
corners. And
Okay,
Norris
so Kimi
cannot
Antonelli
follow
has
through just yet.
taken
so can
pole
Lando
position
now clear
from Max Verstappen.
on this run and go
Taking pole position
from
from Max Verstappen. I think Lando Norris is going to be very close
down
the main straight. I don't think Max
his
can
opportunity
keep
well. Here
Norris
will
at bay
come
here.
Lando Norris.
Unfortunately, Norris
Norris
goes
will
on the
climb to
inside.
second place.
Quite an easy
Verstappen getting that
overtake
race
there by
lead
Lando Norris.
from a
Is Max
very,
going to
very
maybe
early
battle him back into the
strategy.
middle?
Second place
Max
for
will
a
not
couple of
give
meters,
up.
then I'll
He
take
will
it
not
back.
give up. Try to
Then
take it
Norris
on the
will go
inside
back
into the
through,
goal, but
pass and repass
unfortunately
once
that was
again.
a
But
double
it's
overtake
Norris
there.
with the
Lando
grip.
overtook
Norris with the place.
Norris,
And it's Antonelli versus
Max
Norris
overtook
for the
Lando,
win.
and Lando took the
Before long,
position
it'll be
back.
shades of last year
Max
again,
just
wouldn't it?
doesn't have
Piastri
the
through with
tyre
a clean pass that
to
Norris took a
battle
little bit longer
against
to
these
do.
brand new
But this
fresh
time
tyres
Verstappen
of
could
Antonelli.
not get his elbows out
Lando
wide
Norris.
enough
Now it's really
to prevent
down
Norris sweeping
to
straight
Antonelli.
past.
It's
This
his
is
race
Charles
to currently lose.
Leclerc
Leclerc
trying to take back
battling
the place that he lost in the
with
sequence
Russell.
of stops.
Is he going to make a move here?
Ferrari driver in sixth position at
Come
the
on,
moment.
George.
Colapinto has yet to stop. That's
Colapinto,
why he's
get the
in
fuck
pole
out of the way.
position
You
in the
29 year,
Alpine.
you 29
Having
lap
his
old
best ever run
medium.
in
Just
the Formula 1
move,
Grand Prix
bro,
right
please.
now. The
Oh
Argentine
my
driver
God,
with an enormous amount of
I
support
can't with
around this
Colapinto.
circuit.
I tried.
Actively
He came in here saying that this guy is going to be the next
turn
entrance
four.
center.
You're
First
supposed to
race in the
Russell.
wall,
Russell
second
wouldn't
race in
know
the
that he
wall,
was gonna
third
do
race
that,
in
so
the
had to
wall.
deploy a bit
I
more.
mean,
This should
please,
give Charles
bro.
a pretty good run
Make
down
up your
towards
mind.
11 as
You want to
well
be on the
now.
track or off the track?
Able to use what he's
the fuck
just
we doing here, please?
saved on the battery.
What's happening down at the bottom of the tracks? Let's have a look here.
George
The
Russell
Cadillacs.
in the Mercedes, Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari.
Looks
Here's
like
a
they're gonna
replay
pit
of Oscar Piastri's pit stop. Piastri's behind both of these.
Oh, that was a replay. Ocon in
And
ninth
slow
position.
on the front right.
The Williams hanging strong. I think they'll they're pitted already. So okay, so
circulating in 18th
Mortaletta, Ocon,
Antonelli
Colapinto have
all
not
of that
pitted.
battle between Norris and Verstappen.
Williams might look to be in a good position here. They might get up to 9th and 10th.
Norris, 2 seconds on Verstappen, so that gives them a bit of a breathing space.
Whether I'm still trying to see if there's rain here.
Because pretty miffed at this stage,
people
aren't
claiming
you?
that there's going to be
Controlling
rain.
the race, clean passes early on. Just there's nothing worse than being undercut.
Through the pit lane.
You've done nothing wrong.
I mean,
with the
yeah,
cockpit.
let's not
In
help
fact,
out
the pit crew
Cadillacs
did a great
anymore,
job.
right?
It was a clean stop for McLaren. They just pulled the trigger too late.
I don't know why the Americans can't get Formula 1 right.
He had to still execute it on track.
Oh!
Here's the Ferrari
Charles Leclerc.
Charles Leclerc
On George Russell. Down the main straight into corner 1.
For a couple of laps.
Is George going to have a response to this?
Down those ahead.
Charles is doing incredibly well
He's up to
coming
5th.
out of turn 11.
Still to stop.
Yeah, up to 5th. Colapinto ahead.
Excuse me, coming out of turn 16
well.
down
so
that
it feels
main
that
straight
Alpine have maybe been
and doing
rolling the
super
dice
well
of hang
in
on
sector
there
13.
for
He is
the
doing an
possible rain,
incredible
possible
job
intermediates, but
at some
it's not
really
coming so
complex
far.
driving, waiting for the right positions,
well
waiting for when he expects the drivers to be low on battery or harvesting battery, and then capitalizing on pure momentum of the car. That's driver capability for me. That's real driver capability. You're not relying on battery, or actually not relying on an overtake button. You're relying on your skill as a driver to beat someone who's making a mistake in front of you, waiting for the right move. That is what racing is all about. It's not about boosts or overtakes or nitrous oxide or Fast and the Furious. Okay, this isn't no family first shit. Okay,
usually a very good indicator.
Charles Leclerc,
the balance of the car is there. Is Piastri.
I really truly believe that.
Third place in the World Championship last year.
Holding on to that lead, 1.3 seconds ahead. Norris catching him down the straight was surprising. I really thought that
Lando Norris, who is getting very close,
losing pace down the straight.
1 second window, getting access to overtake mode.
I don't know if Antonelli's going to hold this lead. That McLaren has got some pace, it's got some
sort of resigning himself to that understandably in second
place.
He's
got some
working into the window on Antonelli. Antonelli, as has been pretty much the form this weekend, slightly quicker in the first sector.
Russell losing
and then
position.
It's pretty nip and tuck between the two of them in second and third sectors.
Verstappen still third, 8 seconds clear of Leclerc, but Leclerc should close in on that, and Max doesn't seem to have much left in those hards, so surely Red Bull are going to be looking towards a second pit stop and a late bit of rain or something now, another safety car.
Okay, finally, Colapinto and Ocon have finally pitted.
A nice target for Leclerc,
which puts Hamilton in 7th position
to go and chase him down.
And I'm confident going to see
puts Hamilton in 7th position. We got Piastri 6th, Russell 5th. God, Russell has been cursed with 5th position. I swear to God, since he joined Mercedes, he's just been in 5th position. It's just like his thing. Like he was doing so well at the beginning of the Grand Prix victory. I feel like he got shafted.
That started with a spin for Verstappen on the opening lap, then an early pit stop and a charge all the way through to the race lead. He's been passed by Antonelli and Norris.
I think maybe
4 seconds off the back of the driver you're looking at right now, the reigning world champion.
It definitely seems like they fixed the super clipping issue.
Also a race leader in this one, a long way back.
I fucking hate this super clipping bullshit.
Berating the team on the radio.
Honest to God, the battery thing
followed the fact he wasn't consulted.
To me. Doesn't seem like racing. Max was right all along. People gave Max a lot of shit about what he was saying about the regulations. And then when Colapinto Behrman happened in Japan, then all of a sudden everyone woke up and like, okay, wait, maybe Max is right. Well, fucking yes, Max is right.
It's been a little bit of white flag waving this weekend,
that is the part I don't agree with.
Wheel-to-wheel battle as well. He doesn't seem like a
relying on straight boost battery power,
especially with his nearest rivals and his teammates. Sometimes yesterday he was twice ahead of Kimi.
Stupid.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that expression, white flag waving. I suddenly looked up at the screen because I was looking
Norris, Oscar Piastri on George Russell.
Waving on the track, but you're right.
Oscar Piastri putting in the fastest lap.
So vocal on, this is not a good track for me, and I'm not expecting too much.
Here's the thing as well. Okay.
Sometimes you don't want to share everything with everybody.
You've decided to put your main upgrade package in.
He was very open.
Now, okay, right now, you went away for 5 weeks and you put a massive upgrade package into those McLarens. So now, what happens 8 races later when you no longer have an advantage and everyone else now suddenly this is what I'm saying, I feel like McLaren is going to fall off the wayside later on down the season when they learn
an animated tone
that maybe they jumped the gun
over the gearbox.
Oscar Piastri all over Russell. I don't think Russell has a chance here. Oscar catching very quickly. George
Oscar Piastri, originally from Melbourne,
he's lifting coasting here,
racing in Miami and looking
that term, by the way. Lifting and coasting was a massive thing.
Car ahead gets out the way.
It's a terrible way to drive.
Try and do it to turn
lifting
number
and
1.
coasting is not the way it should be done. It should never be a term in Formula 1.
The exit here straightens
but Lando Norris,
and he could feed the throttle in a little bit
Oscar
quicker than
Piastri,
George, who's still had more cornering to do.
Take Russell down the finish straight, catching a great slipstream. Is he going to make a move down the inside?
Nope, does
not. Come on.
More energy for George Russell, slightly wide though into
where's
turn
the Max
one.
Verstappen in you?
Just
fucking go, bro. Put it down the inside. Fucking late brake hits and just half a steer, bro. Come on.
He's just opened the steering and he's going to be vulnerable.
Please, just overtake.
packed in so close through the
Do
high
something,
speed. You're
Oscar.
still losing downforce.
You
as
came
you're,
into the
you're
sport so
sniffing
hot
the
and heavy.
fumes of the car
Now
ahead coming
you
through
can't
there.
overtake someone
But
down
he's
a finish
able to
straight. Please.
I mean, the cars do follow each
We need
other
a
much
smoke
more
break.
closely, don't they, this year with the new regs? And Piastri now will get a golden opportunity to make that back up.
So sector times
See the
again.
active aero into the straight zone. 3 of them around.
Okay,
this
they're
racetrack.
saying rain again. I've heard
And
rain
Piastri
all the time.
closing
I'm not
in.
seeing no
Huge
rain.
speed,
Should
up
we
to
have
200
another look
miles
at the
per
radar?
hour. No
Let's
chance,
have another
though,
look at the
to
radar
get
because
by.
I want
Still
to see
George
rain.
Russell ahead.
I want
As another
rain.
driver was told
Okay, we need
about
to see
potential
it.
rain in the air. Still,
Rain
they
is the
tease
only
it on the
thing
radio.
that's going to turn
They
this race
are, but
around.
so far it hasn't come.
And there's so many
And
more
the,
races that
sort
I
of
have to
seesaw
commentate
of
on.
lap time and how it's delivered continues
Let's have a
between
look at this
Antonelli and
radar,
Norris.
guys.
Antonelli
See what's happening
firmly
here.
with an advantage
Down
in that
in
first
Miami.
sector.
I'm seeing red.
And that's leaving it quite
seeing
late
red
in the lap for Norris
everywhere.
to try and get into
Okay,
that
look
1
at this.
second window.
Holy
His
shit.
car certainly seems to be okay. It was quite
Holy
a panicked
shit.
voice on the radio, wasn't
Ooh.
it? Saying gearbox.
It looks like it's
I
gonna
don't know if he
pass
said something
over.
about the paddle, the upshift
Looks like it's
paddle.
going to pass over.
Here's a chance for Piastri. Russell looking out of the car into the mirror. The Australian driver is there. He can hear the V6 turbocharged engine. 1 second for the race lead.
Oscar Piastri
Two
again
tenths of a
harassing
second for
George
fifth
Russell.
place.
Looks like he's going to
Piastri's
make a
been
move
working
here
for
on the
this one.
inside.
Can he get
Easily
by?
down into
He
turn
gets to the
1.
inside.
Is he going to
And
make it
Piastri,
stick?
3 laps
He does.
it took him
Is
to
George
get by,
going
but
to
he does so
respond?
this time.
Absolutely not.
And the McLaren man is up to 5th.
Yeah, he was squirrely through 18 and 19. Normally not really considered
I
corners,
did hear a
but when
rumour
you're running in the dirty air, then it
that
certainly put him
by
a little bit wider.
2031 we will have V8 engines again.
Kimi Antonelli sounded animated on the radio.
We're talking straight
it's not affected
V8s.
his pace too much.
This is all rumours.
Last time around,
okay.
He was
But if
quicker
they bring
than
back
Lando
straight
Norris.
V8s back
Norris
to Formula
responds with the fastest
boy,
first sector of the Grand Prix, though, and he's homing in once again. So
sweaties coming
you know
back
what it's
to the
like, you see,
sports
when you're thinking, I've got a golden opportunity, I'm
So what's
championship
that?
leader, I
V8s
just
are the
conceive
shit.
the checkered flag in my head now, but anything that feels off as Russell sends one back again on Piastri, makes it through
George,
at 11.
turn 12, favourite
11,
manoeuvre.
but he gets there and he
George
keeps
is
the
an
car
outsider on the
right
outside,
side of
around
the
the
white
outside.
line. It counts.
Nice,
and
George.
they're swapping
Taking
positions
it into
once
turn
more.
12. That's his favourite
These
spot,
two
but he
dual
is not
battles
going to
going
survive
on
this main straight.
between
Oscar is
McLaren
all
and
over him.
Mercedes.
There's no way he's going to
What
survive
Lando
this.
Norris do
Oscar
a really
needs to break
attacking lap
George
from the world
and
champion
get
who's
away
got the gap
quickly.
down inside the
But I
magical
don't-
second.
George
He
pushing
gets
hard.
overtake
George,
mode.
is Oscar
He has
gonna
more
make a
power.
move
He
on
can
the
recharge
inside?
more.
He is.
And as we
Easy
go
overtake
to
by
the hairpin
Oscar.
at 17,
He's got to
Piastri
put
is
some.
back
He's
in
got to put
front.
some distance.
So can he
Otherwise,
hold it
George
this
is going to
time
come
in
back
towards
again.
turn 1? Antonelli's really slowing
Oscar
actually this time around. He was
Will not
plenty
let
slower on the
George
last
take
lap, and
fifth
Norris is
position.
gaining and gaining even more.
He's taken his
as we
prime
head down
position
towards the
while
fast stuff, which leads on to the
Nando
long straight
Norris
turn 11.
is
So
currently chasing
panic
down
in
Kimi
Antonelli's
Antonelli,
voice. Problem with the paddles
but catching
is
at a
what I
rather
believe he
rapid
said.
pace, putting
And
in some
maybe
really
that is coming to
crazy
fruition
sectors,
now, because suddenly
beating
Norris
Kimi on
smells
all
blood.
sectors except the second.
Lando
Putting in the
Norris
fastest lap
trying
as well.
to
Lando
charge
pushing
through
super hard down
win in the second
into
stint to make
Kimi
that pass
Antonelli's
on track.
exhaust pipe.
His heart
He
would have
wants to
sunk
put it
when
in
he
his
saw that
exhaust pipe.
Mercedes had called the strategy
Forget I
right.
said that, please.
He's got the
This is
chance
live,
now.
so I can't edit
and
that
Antonelli
out.
knows that
You
he's
know what I
outscoring
mean,
his
okay?
nearest rival for the
This
title
is-
and
This
teammate.
is a family.
But
No, this is not a
McLaren
family
will take
show.
the
This is
encouragement
unhinged
this
Formula One
weekend
commentary.
that it is
If you
a
have
very
stayed around
long
this much
season
longer, I
all
do
the way to
appreciate
the
you
end.
listening to me
And
talk
they've
for
updated their
what
car
has been
to be contenders not
an
only for
hour
the
and
sprint
40
race,
minutes.
won by
I
Norris
don't know how
yesterday,
anyone
but
could listen
also
to me
for
talk
Grand
for an
Prix
hour and 40
victory.
minutes, but if you
Piastri
have
stays
enjoyed
ahead of
yourself,
Russell, but they
why don't you
still
hit subscribe?
don't have
Maybe
much
like
margin
us do
between the
all
two of
races
them.
this year.
Yeah, it's the
And,
twin
if you would
battles
like
of
some
McLarens
unhinged
and the
Formula One
Mercedes.
commentary,
And
I'd really
crucially,
appreciate some
Antonelli
support
is
for me.
strong as he comes off
Awesome.
16,
If I could
so
make your day
it's
just
all
a
happening a bit late for
better.
Lando as he comes
Yeah.
into
Thank you
the
for
end
your
of
support.
turn
In
17.
advance, sir. I
Very
salute
quick
you.
in the first sector, though, so he's again just
alrighty,
nibbled
so
a little bit more
no
out
real
of
change
Antonelli. It's
between
2
Norris
tenths
and
towards Norris
Antonelli.
on this lap. And
Hamilton
this is where he
stuck in
suddenly
7th
brought
in
the gap
some
down.
weird
So is
limbo
Antonelli
between
harvesting
Colapinto
as he
and
comes
Russell.
through turn 3, and
I
it
told
means
you that the
Norris
Williams would would be in 9th and 10th position, which they currently are.
Let's have a look if that is
Everyone has pitted except the Aston Martin.
Doesn't look like it is this time, so maybe that was a bit of a one-off there for Antonelli, who's been quick
the Haas
in terms of his
11th
driving.
and 12th.
He's been really quick through the high speed so far this weekend.
Well, as he battled
and the Cadillac, you see, as soon as I mentioned the word Cadillac, I yawned. Because imagine being a Cadillac or an Audi investor right now,
he's going to be
watching your cars
on the gearbox,
oh, shit, I have
battling for third place.
Watching your cars either catch fire on track.
Kimi Antonelli having his championship credentials examined by the reigning world champion.
Last position
He's trying to take his
for the
title.
last 4 races.
McLaren had a really tricky time of it in Melbourne. They were well off the pace trying to understand the new power unit. Both of these cars in your picture,
especially a German team, like
by Mercedes.
Audi is not a small manufacturing company, and they also have Mercedes on the grid. Like, what car are you going to buy? A Mercedes that's on fire? I mean, an Audi that's on fire, or a Mercedes? Let's be real here. What is happening here? My rears are gone. Antonelli saying that his tires are shot. Does this give Lando Norris an opportunity?
The sports psychologist just calming him down.
What do you do about that, though? It's just
I'm sorry,
don't worry
Kimmy.
about it. Well,
I don't agree with you. You are on 10 laps of your hard tire. Max has done 30 laps on your hard tire, and he's in 3rd position. How can you say your tires are gone?
To ease off, and it gets worse before it gets better.
I feel like you're lying.
It's almost like, though,
okay, and the amount of glazing
there's enough of this Grand Prix
that is going on.
That even if he was to lose the race lead, if it suddenly brought it
people glazing this guy. He's that guy, right? He's that guy.
But of course, you don't want to give up
currently.
It doesn't sound like he does. Honestly, I don't understand. He's coming on the radio. Certainly sounds frantic, and the McLaren gets closer and closer. This is as tight as it's been coming out of turn 8, which is.
But if what he is saying is true,
I agree. It could be a new lease of life.
Nando Norris is going to take that position away from him. Because we are coming into turn 12, where a lot of drivers have been making some overtakes, and Lando is very close.
Norris
very close
trying to make
to
the
Kimi.
McLaren as large as possible.
Is he maybe going to take a little sniff down the finish straight?
This part of the circuit.
We're going to find out right now.
Mercedes moving around a lot. We go on board.
That was close to the wall. My God, those corners
are chasing down.
Okay, they are coming down the main straight.
Become the
Is
first
Norris
non-Mercedes
I think
driver
Kimi got away
to win
there.
a Grand Prix in 2026.
I don't think Nando is going to be able to put anything.
The first thing he said on the radio when he won yesterday was a thank you to the team for updating the car. And Lando Norris is the closest that he's been since he lost the position to Antonelli. He gets that overtake mode once again.
Nando
for more energy around this lap. And he'll be deploying it. Antonelli really under big pressure now.
The
McLaren looks so good. It has done every time we've jumped on board with Norris through the race. It's direct on the entry, but he's not fighting the oversteer. He's not currently
Verstappen holding that position in 31 laps on those hard tires.
Struggling to rotate the car, and it means
also in a very interesting void position, very far away from Norris, but Leclerc also quite far behind Max. So will he be able to hold on here to keep that pole, to keep that podium?
The car is quite so loose.
And also,
you put less energy through the tyres as well when you do things more in a straight line, and you're not trying to hang on to it on the exits. Of course, when you are in the dirty air, you inherently will slide around a little bit more because you've got less downforce. But for now, I think Norris is still well in control of that McLaren in second.
Oh my God.
Oliver Behrman is putting pressure on Alex Albon for the final point available. He's the Blue Williams ahead of the shop that we're riding on board with Ollie Behrman.
Is that some plastic that's been picked up on the rear wing?
Definitely pushing it.
Maybe some debris, tear off from a visor.
The intervals are very strange though. Norris doing a 131.8
when they open.
Antonelli doing a 131.9.
The rear wing.
But his last lap was a 132.4.
Well and truly caught there. That might be affecting a little bit.
Lando's got to put some work in there.
Charles Leclerc has led this race, Max Verstappen has led this race, but it's come down to these two contenders. Lando Norris and Kimi Antonelli, the world champion against the world championship leader. Norris
I'd love to know what goes on in his head.
One lockup,
when he gets to the point of, okay, it's time to overtake, and then he doesn't do it.
For Antonelli, who's trying to win 3 Grand Prix in a row. Something that Oscar Piastri was able to do, and how reminiscent is this season to last. When all the talk was Lando at the start last year, it was Oscar Piastri who did the early winning. All the talk was of George Russell at the start of the campaign. Could it be 3 in a row for Antonelli? Here's the man trying to change it.
It's close once again through this section at the end of sector 1. Picking a downshift through turn 4. Head bobbing as the airflow, he rumbles over some curbs as well.
Was a Lando Norris
with the look at the race
since he won the World Championship has definitely changed a bit. I like old school Lando. I suppose that's what happens when you become a world champion, right? Goes to your head, and I suppose you gotta change a bit, right? I know sure as hell Max has changed. Max is who he is. Has always been who he is.
He won in China, but he had the pace in China, and he was away, and he had a big lockup.
It was a fun start to the race. We have
caught only
17
himself
laps
out. There was no one there to put him under pressure.
And this is the point in the race where, unless it rains or we get a safety car,
he's not won a Grand Prix yet.
not much going to happen.
World champion on his tail.
This is the same strategy. This is the same formula I've seen play out in the last couple of years in Formula 1, where the tail end of the race,
the paddles on the back of the steering wheel, but
it doesn't really become that exciting. Now, I still love to watch it because anything can happen. Anything can happen. That is the truth of Formula 1, and it can happen in a
where you
split second.
catch the car can be crucial.
I thought the new regulations would have produced more of a...
It's going to come down as well. Norris is closing in. He will clear what looks to be the Aston Martin.
That's Alonso, and he should have got out of the way far easier than that, I think. That's Scott
the
Antonelli. You can see the gap is now half a second. Fernando was due to... He should have got out of the way. Antonelli was close enough on the way in. Get off the racing line and allow the leaders through.
In the first,
and now can Norris provide anything
kind of sucks balls,
to force a defensive shape from Antonelli coming up?
It was the first time that Alonso was shown the blue flag.
No one wants to suck on balls.
3 times. It's waved at you. You have to jump out of the way.
Sour balls or,
Alonso jumped out of the way at the top 2. There's a second between the 2 of them now.
Am I reading that correctly? The graphic? Has Alonso not actually picked
No, I'm talking about sweets. I'm talking about sweets, okay? Candy balls.
Okay. Well, has he got something against his picture?
Somebody stop me, please.
I think they're getting data on that medium tire. Loads of it. Loads and loads of it. He's ahead of Perez, Stroll, and Bottas.
Again, bro,
4 retirements. Hulkenberg,
you know you can overtake on turn 12, but you won't do it.
Made contact at
you were right there.
Hadjar clipped the apex wall.
0.4 seconds behind him. You could have made a move into turn, but no, you've now waited 4 laps. 4 laps to make a move.
On the last
you P-word.
So is this the sign of Max's hard tyres ailing, or has he got another chance to go again and try and nurse that Red Bull to what would be such a long-ranging one-stop? 51 laps he needs to do on that hard tyre.
I'm not going to take a bite of my burger. Excuse me while I take a bite of my burger, because where's this going?
Piastri's shaken off Russell and is catching as well.
Again, an advantage of a second. Again, Antonelli holds the lead. This would be a big test pass if he could beat the world champion to victory.
Update of Verstappen.
George Russell on the radio. I don't know what he's doing. Let's have a look at the transcripts here, see if anyone's saying anything.
To catch him by the
I'm
end
not
of the
saying
race.
much. 33.5 over George Russell complaining
As
a lot.
Marcus Dudley, race engineer for George Russell
Sergio
on
Perez,
the radio,
Valtteri Bottas,
imparting the news.
Gabriel Bortoleto. No one's really saying much here down the transcripts.
Winner of the
Just
opening
talking
round
about
of the year in Melbourne. It's been the Antonelli show since.
Gaps between the driver in front. Trying to keep the pace between.
Bit of a stalemate, isn't it? Norris just feels that he's got a bit more pace
anyone's
than that
pit.
McLaren.
No one would be stupid enough to pit.
Kimi Antonelli driving brilliantly out front.
Relatively
no mistakes,
I mean, the only one that's really in a problem here is.
And all of those extra laps running in that slightly dirtier
kind of
Julian that you talk about that just takes away
where
a little bit of
tires
balance.
are also going to start degrading, so he's not going to be able to catch Max.
Crucially, he's been brilliant off 16.
Far enough away from Norris.
Wherever he's doing in his deployment there, to mean that
so Max could very
no
well
chance for Lando
that
to
podium
put pressure on the brakes down into 17.
Yeah,
this is the real question of the day.
Piastri fighting the wheel as well through the low speed. It was a big oversteer for Norris that time around through the chicane as well. So maybe just starting to suffer slightly with the rear tyres overheating, and Antonelli builds that lead to over a second.
I want to know from you, if you are still in the chat and you're still watching, I really appreciate it. This is the question of the day, guys.
High-speed pace.
I want to know from you in the chat.
Has just meant that he's
who is driver of the day
heading in towards turn 11. It's something he's had
I want
in
to
his
know
all weekend.
because this is a hard one. I don't feel like Kimi deserves it. I really don't. I really don't.
Tells a story
I feel
for George
like
Russell.
Max deserves this one.
So often in this Grand Prix, we've seen
who
Norris
is your driver of the day. If you are still in chat,
Norris have a good lap. Antonelli
I want to know.
2 good laps in a row for Kimi
Give
Antonelli.
me your driver of the day
the advantage
in chat. Type it now. I want to know.
Seconds. Can he put
We've got some time before this gets picked.
Trying to break away from the
driver
challenge
of the day
of Lando Norris. The most pressure that Mercedes have been under in a Grand Prix all year long.
Max is my driver of the day. Air day. Air day is Max. Every day we maxing.
It's the first time in Japan that McLaren had even run in the top 3 at any point.
I am the cringe master. Yeah, I think it is Max. I really do. I mean, we could give it to Lance Stroll because.
Mercedes pit crew getting the jump on Lando Norris.
Lando,
Norris will try and regroup towards the end. He's got some tyres to fight.
Yeah,
otherwise,
I think
3 Grand Prix victory in a row and an extended lead in the World Championship.
I mean, he was in 10th, and then he was in 15th, and then he was in 5th, and then he was in 12th, and then he was in 3rd. I mean, fucking hell.
And absorbing pressure like this, which is just such an indication of the season that he's got coming up as well. Meanwhile, you've got on the other side of the garage, George Russell sick, losing out to Leclerc, losing out to Piastri, struggling for grip.
Looks like this is the race, guys. I'm not going to lie.
Answers to the pace of
Antonelli
as well.
Not that I want you to do. You can't hang out. Piastri, Leclerc should catch Verstappen around 3 laps. That's when it'll start. Okay, so we might see some changes
it's slightly
here.
darker out of the window.
Looks like
once
Ferrari's
again
pushing for Max.
Commentary box, but they've given up with the
on
rain
all
chat
the tires.
on the radio. It's remained dry.
The end ball game is going to be
is closing in on Max Verstappen. That is a 2-second gap
Lando
right
Norris
now between Red Bull and Ferrari. It is
Oscar
a 1.5-second gap for the lead of the
Max
Grand
Verstappen,
Prix. Just going back to Kimi Antonelli's career last year, big pressure from Max Verstappen.
Unless Lando can grow some balls. We've talked about balls before. We know the balls I'm talking about.
For the win,
the other balls.
That's the last Grand Prix that Lando Norris won. He won twice
Lando grows some balls
in Formula 2, not
and
chased
actually
home.
overtake
So I
Kimi
reckon the last time that Kimi Antonelli was under this much pressure for a win was 2023.
Because he's got all the pace he needs.
When he wasn't in Formula 3 because he was rushed through the junior ladder so far. That would be Formula Regional.
He's doing a faster lap by 300
that Kimi Antonelli was made
Why can't you take it?
This, and it has been hot and humid
on the main straights, you ride up his ass.
If you believe in a
but you don't
driver
have the balls,
and you elevate them immediately to a top team capable of Grand Prix victory.
That is why you don't deserve driver
seizing
of the
his
day.
chance in his second season.
Lando is an excellent driver.
Absolutely.
He's an excellent Formula 1
for some time.
These guys are all the best of the best.
He's
but my God,
work in progress.
Can you show us why you're here? Can you show us why you're in Formula 1? But the love of a team. Sometimes, you know, I just don't know these things.
Norris drops back now, takes the pressure off.
Come on, Charles, get in there, boy.
Seconds between Antonelli and Russell.
Looking for a gap. He is putting in some serious pace there. Max doing a 133.7. Charles doing a 132.6. He is putting in crazy pace. I think he's gonna get Max in the next couple of laps. Maybe even this lap.
In the championship,
he's very good at taking on turn 12. Which they're going to come up to very soon after these winding
100%. And I know this is just one race, the fourth race of the season,
into the winding straight.
So
if Charles can get a little closer here, he'll do a good job to be able to take it. If not this lap, the next lap, absolutely 100%.
George will be looking
get close enough here.
How can he do that lap time?
He may be able to do it into turn 12.
Have I got to change?
Which I think he might be able to do.
Armory to challenge this guy.
Charles has been really good in sector 13.
Better at. That's just the ebb
so we'll see what he does here. They're coming down the winding straight.
Out a comfortable
turn 10.
If the race finishes as
here comes turn 11. Is Charles gonna?
Gap,
what's he gonna do here?
That could be crucial.
Into turn 12.
As will the points that
on
Russell
the curbs.
Didn't scoop up in Japan
Charles
as well, where he didn't get on the podium
looking
in what was
for
clearly the fastest car at that
point. A little acceleration, a little boost, a little gap to be able to push Max into the finish straight. Really putting the pressure on Max
Lando
there.
Norris thinking of every option. Kimi Antonelli
down
after
the main
the
straight they go. Active error is open for both cars. I don't think Charles is going to catch him here. Max is struggling on those tires.
Went beyond track limits again, got a 5-second penalty.
Definitely struggling.
Norris saying,
Charles not going to make a move on this lap, but is very close to Max.
That's a world champion's mentality, but it's also telling that Norris might feel that victory chances are slipping away here.
Well, he's dropped back.
Lap 46 and 57, 11 laps to go, ladies and gents, for the Miami Grand Prix.
The battle for third
Charles!
Coming to fruition.
Charles!
Leclerc tucked in behind Max Verstappen. Still charging around with consistency on the hard tyres, but not enough pace.
You guys seen that meme?
The one that I saw pop up
was
Norris before on track limits, but now he's radioed it in. One for Antonelli as well, so he's absolutely right. Turn 11 on the last lap. I haven't seen too many of them, unlike the sprint yesterday.
4 for a penalty. 4 for a penalty.
Yeah, guys.
Antonelli was using a lot of the road.
I hate it when races get like this. I really fucking
reassured
do.
by Pete Donington on the radio.
Annoying. It really,
just
really
the tyre
is.
temperatures that were high, that he still had the grip from the Pirellis, not tearing through.
What do you say? Oh look, Verstappen's up there, Charles catching him. Please!
We have a second strike for track limits, so
we have a what?
Gimme, no more.
We have a second strike for track limits.
Easy as you like. Try and keep the world champion behind. Keep it within the white lines.
If he hits another, he's
got a gap of 2.1 seconds.
He will have a penalty.
Well, it's absolutely fair enough.
Watch out, Kimmy.
He'll know.
Watch out, Kimmy.
He'll know where the white lines lie and where the mistakes are being made, but just they haven't been obvious to us. We haven't seen him go beyond those track limits. As Charles Leclerc is going to get a chance if he chooses in the braking zone.
He's waiting.
Can't get past him.
And
Down.
he knows that he has the
17.
advantage of fresher tyres.
Can't quite hit it, Jess.
And
Can't
if he
quite
chooses
hit
in the
it.
braking zone,
He's waiting. And Verstappen will do everything he can.
Yep, Charles does it. Down.
And it's
the
not
main
enough in the
finished
end.
straight.
They rolled the dice
Takes
on the
Max
strategy.
Verstappen.
It gave him
Into turn 1.
the race
All right,
lead.
it's time to vote,
He's
guys.
got nothing
it's
to
time
fight
vote.
with. And Charles
Driver
Leclerc's
of the day.
eventful day is heading to the podium
9
after
laps
that
left
pass.
to vote for driver
He's a
of
long
the
way
day.
off
Who is it,
Antonelli
guys?
and Norris.
You're
That's
here
getting
and
closer.
watching the stream.
Oh, that's
Let me
brilliant
know.
around the outside.
I'm going to be voting.
Do we think that Max Verstappen would give
I
up?
think it
Maybe
is
momentarily.
Max Verstappen.
He
I'm voting
refused
for
to
Max.
yield. And no, I didn't get caught out. Quiet.
Max
well,
Verstappen
look,
for me is
it's, I
driver
think delaying
of
the
day.
inevitable. That
Max Verstappen takes back Charles Leclerc.
so
Is
strong.
Charles going to
That's
do
gonna
anything
help
into turn
Piastri
12? We're
as
going to
well,
find out
as
right
here
now. It
comes
looks like he
Leclerc.
is on the outside. Come on,
This
Charles.
time he has the
Down
advantage.
into turn 12. Max
Verstappen's
not
gonna
letting
be
go.
as late as possible on the
Yep, he does
brakes.
it. Charles into turn 12. Is Max going to
Ferrari
do
driver
anything down the
gets
finish
through.
straight? I don't
Even
know
when
if he's
got
close enough. I
ancient
don't know
tyres
if he
on
have
the
enough
car.
battery.
Max Verstappen
Is
finds
he
a way to
going to
surprise
have
us.
the
And
tire
Ferrari
strength
1.7 seconds,
or
1.6
the
seconds.
battery to push
Grand Prix win
Charles
still in
into
the
an
balance.
overtake
He's having fun
position
this
down the
weekend,
main
isn't he,
straight? I
Max?
don't think
this
he
is
is.
so much better for him
I
than
don't
trying to
think he
hustle
is.
the back of Pierre Gasly's Alpine
We
on
have
the
a little
last laps in
sneaky,
Japan. He's back fighting with the big guns.
We have a little
And
sneaky
that was
Oscar
a great
Piastri that is also
move. It completely-
sneaking up
It caught
behind
Charles Leclerc
Max
out as much as it
Verstappen
caught
as
you
well.
out, I think, there
We'll,
towards turn 4.
see
They
how
both
that
scooped
goes.
it up just in the nick of time.
No denial.
Oh,
As
Bro.
enjoy live TV.
where's the rain?
Kimi
That's all I
Antonelli
wanted
talking
was
about
some
the
rain.
downshifts.
For the love of
Keeping an eye on
God,
the problems.
can the
team
heavens just
admit there is a
open?
problem with the
Yeah,
car.
Piastri's going to
Norris
take
will
Max.
try and
Max
leave
going to
some
lose
tyres in.
position. Max going to lose
Yellow
podium.
flag is out. No
Charles,
one to come on
just
driver track
go.
right now.
You got
Yellow
20
flag
seconds,
withdrawn.
bro.
Oscar
Just
Piastri
you
putting
can
the
do
big
20
pressure
seconds
on Max
in 9
Verstappen.
laps.
That's
To
the
beat
incentive
Norris.
I want to hear if I'm Lando.
Norris
I want
still
my
can't
engineer
take
now to tell me
Antonelli.
He's out there, he's
Come
got a
on,
few
bro.
downshift problems,
What are
even if
you
it's not costing
doing?
a huge
What
lap
are
time.
you doing?
Need some incentive
How
to
can
go
you
and
not
chase
take
that
this guy?
Mercedes
You
down.
are clearly
And it was half
faster.
a second
Your
on the last
deltas
lap.
are 6
So
hundredths
much
of a
curb
second
being
faster.
taken by Oscar
How can you
Piastri
not
out
beat
of
this
turn
guy?
8?
You have waited
Super
12
impressive,
laps
isn't it? The different designs
and you haven't
of rear
made
wings,
one
you know,
move
some
on Antonelli.
heaving hole there when the
Your B word.
this
I mean that in the
new rear
nicest
wing
way.
opened up
Oscar
on the
Piastri
Red
looking
Bull.
for a move on
you'll see
Verstappen into
very
turn
obvious
12. I told you
difference
6
to
to
that of
13 is where
McLaren.
all the action happens in these races,
Norris
guys.
brought a
It's
lot of pace on
wild.
the last lap.
6 to
Very
13.
even.
It's such a
on
strange
this
place
tour
to
of the
overtake as
circuit.
well. Oscar Piastri definitely going to make a move on Max
see the
Verstappen
difference in
into
grip
turn
between
17,
old
which is the
hard
main
tyres
straight.
and slightly
He is
fresher
right
ones.
behind Max. Had a
Piastri
great
climbing
exit.
all over the
This is
back
going
of
to
the
be
Red
an
Bull
easy
now.
overtake for Piastri.
Russell's behind as well, and we'll get
gonna
a
be no
shot,
problem.
assuming
Piastri-
Piastri's going to clear Verstappen.
All active
at
arrow is
this
open
time of
on the
asking,
outside.
and I don't
Nice
think
and
Max has got anything
smooth,
left to
eases
fight.
out.
But there's George in the
Unfortunately,
background, so that's the
takes
gap
Max.
that the other Mercedes has got to make up.
Sadly, Max not going to be able to fight back from that.
Verstappen
I think his
trying
tyres are
to hang
shot.
it around the
He's not going to do
outside.
much better than that. Russell,
Loved a late braking move
Russell
so far
just-
this weekend, but
Russell's
Piastri
just driving
takes
him shit,
P4,
bro.
and the
Sixth
McLaren
position.
driver
What's
improves.
happening
He's, for
Lando
reference,
Norris
2.1
again.
seconds away from the final place on the podium.
there? The last
Look, Max
lap.
just is not in his
You
nature
were-
to go, okay,
Okay,
I'm gonna
Kimi is
just
pushing a
accept
bit
the
harder,
inevitable.
granted.
He fights
But
for every
you are
piece
falling
of
behind.
tarmac.
Someone explain it to
To be
me.
too far back
Someone
to do a
explain it.
surprise
Someone explain
on
Lando
Piastri like
Norris'
he did on
driving
Leclerc.
style to me,
But
please.
keep your eyes peeled, Alex,
Because
just in
I
case.
can't.
Oh, you don't need to
I
remind
can't
me.
understand how he won that championship last year.
Yeah, you can see the Red Bull just visibly
Again, please,
wider on
he's-
that long
this
entry
isn't a
towards Apex, a
testament
bit
to
wider as
any
well.
of
Those
these
tyres
as
are just
drivers,
shot.
okay?
Yeah, I wondered if they
respect
might
their
two-stop
driving
him when they
skills. They're all
realised
very talented
Antonelli and
drivers.
Norris came
I
out and
still don't
blasted straight
understand how this
past.
guy won
It's
the
not a
championship
match.
last year.
But I guess
think he
now
got
it's just
very
whether he
lucky.
can cling on to
I
that
think
fifth
he
place
was
ahead
given
of Russell.
preferential treatment
Hamilton's
by
having
his
a
team.
difficult day and is
and now he has a fast car.
Russell, that should
and
be
it's always a lot
achievable
easier
for Verstappen.
when you have a fast car to
With the
win
gap
races.
between Norris and Leclerc, I wonder what a two-stop might have looked like
I mean,
for Verstappen.
but now you have a fast car.
Once
You've had a massive upgrade.
Rather than just having this defensive
and you have
drive
waited
on the
now
old tyres.
13 laps to overtake Kimi Antonelli.
After a very unusual moment where Verstappen spun at the start.
Explain this shit to me.
Nearly hit into the first
Please,
corner.
make it make sense, bro. Because he ain't
Looks
that
like
guy.
Take his place
Kimi
on the
Antonelli.
podium. Ferrari updating the car significantly. Would be a third podium of the season for Charles Leclerc.
I'm looking at the deltas right now, bro. It's
behind a
nuts to
rejuvenated McLaren. They'll chase Mercedes all the way home. Kimi Antonelli.
Okay, Kimi is pushing. Kimi is pushing hard. Kimi is pushing hard.
Keeping Mercedes absolutely honest.
So Lando can be somewhat forgiven.
Relative to Antonelli, it makes you think.
Yeah, I don't think Charles is going to come back from this one, but
it's just
a podium position for Charles is great.
You know,
podium position, even though it's not a win, podium for Ferrari is where it's at. Hamilton's struggling a lot this race.
Antonelli's brilliance
I think deployment
give Mercedes a potential victory.
Management has been a bit of a learning curve for Hamilton. Not that
out of what actually was McLaren's circuit.
Well, when there's 33 seconds now between the two of them, this is certainly a showcase for Antonelli's talent this weekend. Montreal's always been a good circuit for Mercedes. It's been a great circuit for Russell. He won there last year, and it will be a good opportunity for him to kind of stop the rot now and turn it around and get some momentum back into his season. But Antonelli will be turning up there in this race, brimming with confidence and having a healthy cushion. Russell, I feel like Russell needs to clear Verstappen, just get another couple of points and take something more out of this weekend.
Robots driving a car at the moment. But,
Fernando Alonso is having some fun for the first time this season. He's got soft tyres on the car, went super long on the medium. He's had soft tyres on for a couple of laps.
When he came out, and he was just...
Antonelli's got the gap up to 2 seconds.
You're giving it, bro. In the first 3 races, just absolutely destroying. I was like, holy shit, this is the Russell I want to see. This is World Championship boy. 5-week break and come back. Now you're driving like you did the last 5 years.
It will be a significant moment. We always look for narratives in the commentary box.
I think you deserve to be in
the championship leader beating the world champion in a straight fight.
A lot of people give George a lot of shit. They give him a lot of trouble for the stuff he says and how he says it. They take what he says out of context.
And there have been mitigating circumstances for George Russell.
I think George is also
in the
very
season in China, he had an issue in qualifying.
He's
have a
become
clean
very
run there.
Timing
of the safety car, he was really in the battle for the win before the timing of the safety car.
Mercedes mind,
pure performance for Kimi
Mercedes clan. I don't want to say cult, the Mercedes clan.
Radioing in feedback that
he's got to speak, act, and talk Mercedes,
so the team can see
which I get.
On the data and maybe find a tyre temperature window or something that the cars sort of come back to life for him, just for learning in the next events.
And you can't really even compete.
And Kimi got out the car yesterday. It was a half-an-hour sprint. He looked like he'd done a Grand Prix. He looked
in the last 4 races, 5 races.
So visibly, it was a sweaty day. He looked tired, didn't he?
Yeah. No, evidence. I think we're all a bit nervous.
When you're watching people like Lando
conditions they would do the Grand Prix in, but
in previous races, these people would have been overtaking each other every second corner.
Clearly overcast here, so more comfortable conditions.
Well, that's not really happening.
And it's about keeping that concentration then. And it was the track limits yesterday at the end, where it was a sloppy thing. It cost 2 points. It gave George 1 point, if that is going to be the title battle this year.
You're taking
and it was a bit needless. The concentration has got to be razor sharp now. Even though he's got the pace, he's got 2 seconds still to Norris behind.
Away mega
got to put a lap on another car. That's Bortoletto.
This feels like a nerf. Anyway, Oscar Piastri, from the best lap there is there a chance?
Confirm on the 9 DC?
Yeah, I'm just going to...
Everyone hoping for rain.
Bear with me.
All the teams hoping for rain. I don't think that's going to matter. There's 4 laps left.
On the basis it was free.
We might have to
I don't think rain is going to be an issue. I mean, look, shit, if the rain comes down in the last 4 laps...
What I was about to say though,
the rain comes down in the last 4 laps, all hell's going to break loose.
From the pit wall.
But I don't see that happening.
Of the cars is great.
In the last 4 laps, let's just have a little...
I think that we've had this little break. We've come back. Quickly. This has been
what's happening in Miami?
An overwhelmingly positive display from Formula 1.
Have a quick little squibble.
It's been a lot of fun, hasn't it? The drivers are enjoying it a lot more. You can see Norris there with a little bit of squirm on the rear end as he's getting on the gas. He's still getting a massive kick up the back as a driver. The torque delivery is huge, but the energy is being harvested a little bit more easier. The tweaks to the reg seem to have worked. The competitive order has shuffled around like we were promised it would, with upgrades coming on so many cars. And it's been a lot of fun to watch, and we're 5 laps away from the end, and we've still got a McLaren chasing a Mercedes. It's not the Noah's Ark 2x2 that it was so often with a bigger field spread. It's tightened up the whole way through. It's been a really, really fascinating weekend.
I don't think they are. If they do, oh my god.
Great event, and
oh my god. Especially if it comes down
off.
really quickly.
We've got Verstappen,
fucking slicks, old 25-year-old lap hards in wet is
the next couple of laps. Russell's going to be.
But I don't think that's going to happen. Anyway, Lando Norris falling completely behind here. 1.9 seconds.
Damage limitation and the overall
Leclerc definitely sold that position. I don't think.
It's about finding that performance.
Piastri could push really hard, but I don't think he's going to make him.
It's Anthony's first ever Grand Prix podium.
Laps. It looks like this is the ball game, ladies and gentlemen.
A lot at
Max
stake
Verstappen.
when we go to Montreal. the Canadian
Started
Grand Prix.
second.
Here's Alonso versus Perez on the left-hand side
had
of
an
your
oopsie
picture.
into turn 1,
And Alonso,
went down to P10.
is he leaving room?
Okay,
Could he
then had
slow it
another
down?
oopsie and went
He's
down to
got
P15,
it, and
then
he gets through
pitted.
to 50.
Well, that's
Okay, and was still in
encouraging
P15,
for
then
Aston
jumped up to
Martin.
P12.
They're in the race, battling
By
the
lap
Cadillac, who
by lap 53, he's in
has
P5.
to credit where it's due. They've
This
done
guy-
a really solid job bringing an
guy's a
entirely
beast.
new team to
Just
Grand Prix racing and
so
a
you
major
know.
regulation change.
He's an absolute
Race
beast.
together as well.
But
40
yeah,
seconds
George
away from
Russell
those
puttering
ahead, but
along
it's
down in 6th
encouraging
position. I think
steps for
pretty
both of those
upset.
teams.
He
Guys, I do have a
might have an
correspondent.
opportunity with Max.
South Beach, Miami, says it's
He does have
absolutely
10,
hammering it down there and it's heading this way.
15 lap
4 laps to
younger
go.
tyres
What
than
is that
Max.
as a crow
But,
fly? It's probably about, what, 15 kilometres away?
I think so. It
You
could
can
yet
try
spice
with
up
Mad
the end of
Max.
the Grand
Mad
Prix.
Max gonna shoot you. Mad Max gonna take you down.
Palmer has contact.
You got an
everywhere.
86
You know
laps,
that.
Sounds, well, for
Can't-
our
you
audience
can't
who've
fuck
never
with
been
that
to
vibe.
Miami before, South
Yeah,
Beach
Lando Norris
is
2.4
party
seconds.
central,
Looks like he's
and it sounds
completely
very
backed
much
off
that
from
Julian's got
Kimi. This is
a
Kimi's
hot
answer
date
to
with a
the
cold
ball
drink down South
There
Beach
are
after the
2
Grand
laps
Prix.
left, guys, in the Miami.
Been a very entertaining weekend here in Miami.
I've only taken 2
Kimi
bites of my burger,
Antonelli
which I am
continues to keep Norris at bay.
Inhale this burger.
Piastri has got that gap down from 2 seconds to 1.3.
Thank you so
the
much for
final
tuning
step on the
into the
podium
Miami
is
Grand Prix
still up
live
for grabs,
watch along,
and
guys. I
any
really,
lock-up
really appreciate it. I stream all of the races.
the opening
It's
corners,
unhinged commentary. If you want to make any
other corners
suggestions
like 14 and
or
15,
any comments
Isaac
about what I
Hadjar
could
found
change or what
not
you want to
much
see,
room
please
for
let me know
error.
in the comments below. It would be
Norris
really,
has
really
the
awesome.
fastest lap.
I want to do my
Does
best to
not
make this the
have
best experience
a chance
for you.
anywhere near
If
his
you
one-
don't want to watch English commentary, because
3
I hate
seconds away,
English
but climbing
commentary,
up to
that's why
4th
I'm doing this.
in the
I
driver's
cannot handle
standings.
the English commentary,
McLaren
guys.
in a much
they are
better
the worst.
place and a
Okay,
long way to
They're pretty
go
nice people.
in the World
I
Championship.
don't like it. Okay, so that's why
Kimi
I'm doing this
Antonelli,
kind of stuff. So
one of the things you would have
I
been
can talk
worrying about
about
is
you
coming
know, whatever the
across
hell I want to talk
lap
about and
traffic
swear
ahead,
and cause shit
who were
and do
battling.
whatever
He's
I
gone
want.
through Bortoletto and
But it
Ocon,
would be
who were
really,
having
really
a
awesome if
scrap
you could
for 12th
support
position.
the channel.
That battle has elongated. Norris has gone
I don't
through
want to
as
be a
well.
billionaire. I don't want
Single cars.
fame. I just want
He's
to
trying
make.
to get by.
I just want to make Formula 1
Here is
content.
Max Verstappen and George Russell.
What the fuck? Who was that?
Verstappen having a much more encouraging Grand Prix weekend. That front row, especially.
Oh shit!
Give Red Bull hope that they can fight later into the campaign.
Did Max just take George? No, George tried to take Max and Max took it back.
Yeah, well, he's
Max
gonna
said
be
no.
placed out of 16. We've seen
But I think
Mercedes
George
has been
is George going to have
a much
a look
shallower
here?
line as he drives.
Is George going to have a look down the main straight?
On that long back straight.
Arrow is open.
So pulls a rip off from his visor as well.
Georgie boy, you're going to have a look on the Max covering him. He's trying to go on the outside. Turn 17, George.
No, on my watch.
George
into
going
that
on the
corner.
inside. I don't think Max.
Russell tries to come back.
Oh, Max is struggling. Oh, he's a
Left-hand side
little
of your
wobble out
picture.
there.
Third
Down
place
into
in
the
the Miami
finishing
Grand
corner,
Prix,
losing the
going
rear a
all the way
bit.
to the
I
end.
think George got an
Piastri
easy
really
overtake here on the
attacking. Not as
outside.
much as Russell, though.
Absolutely.
It will
Down
be
into
late
turn
on the
one.
brakes
Max
for
not
Verstappen.
giving it away for free.
He still hangs
Holds
on
on to the
those old
position
hard
down into
tyres.
turn 2 and 3. Max,
You've got 2 laps to pass someone.
hanging on with
That's
everything
someone
he's
you do
got.
not want to be Max
Just will
Verstappen,
not
because
give
even on
George
old
that
tyres,
position back.
derating
Even
into
with the
the
wobbles,
corner, he is
even with the
happy to
hopper
fire it back
understeer,
down the inside.
going
He'll
into
catch
1,
everyone
2
out.
and 3.
Damage on the front wing
Incredible
end plate
job
of
by Max.
Russell. You can see
Putting
it
the pedal
sparking there.
down.
Did he just clip the rear of Verstappen?
Not giving it up.
And it seems to have,
Even
yeah, look, you can see
to the
there's,
very
he's had some
end.
contact
That is
in that
why
front
we
wing end plate.
love
Yes, hang
Max
low.
freaking
I
Verstappen.
think he hit my tire.
Max saying, I think he hit
I
my
think he
tire.
did.
Max saying that George
That's
hit his
scraping
tire.
along the floor.
Uh-oh.
Cause a huge
Uh-oh. What's happening?
Does it become detached, though, would be the
Oh,
worry for George.
Russell is trying hard.
On board
He's
with
trying hard.
Piastri trying to take a place on the podium, left-hand side of your
Piastri
picture.
also trying
The
very
battle
hard
for
on
fifth
Leclerc
position
down the
with
main
Russell
straight. Guys are
with
going to
that
try their
damage
best
to the front
on the
wing.
last few laps here,
Russell
but
will be
Piastri
okay
just
with
can't
that
make it
because
happen.
He's so close to the end of the race. I don't think they'll have time to call him in
Have
to
you noticed
to
the
change
rear
it.
wings
One more
on
lap
the
after this,
Ferrari,
here's the
McLaren,
podium
and
fight.
Red Bulls are very different, and
Hanging
the
on to
Mercedes
it.
are very
Look
different. There's
tactical
such
from
a big
Piastri.
gap
Wants
in
to
the
use
Ferrari
everything.
rear wing when the arrow opens
Going
up.
across the line.
I didn't actually really notice that.
And the McLaren's chasing
McLaren's
the
is
Ferrari
much
all
smaller.
the way to the end.
Very strange.
On
Mercedes
the
also
penultimate
quite
tour
small.
of the race.
Okay, Oscar
Russell
Piastri
starts
down the
down
finish
the
straight. He's
inside
going to make a
and
move
clears
towards
Verstappen.
Leclerc here. I think he
Too
may
far
have a
back
sniff.
into
into turn 1.
No, he doesn't clear him because Verstappen comes back.
Russell overtakes Hamilton. I mean, Verstappen, excuse me there.
Yeah.
Good
we'll
job.
Put a big
Down
sign
to
on the
turn
combox wall that says
16,
Verstappen's
17.
going to lunge again into the next corner.
Verstappen takes
Late
it
on
back.
the brakes once more and hanging
Oh my
on
God,
to
down the
fifth
finish
place,
straight.
Max
Is Russell
Verstappen,
going to do anything
who is
here? I don't
looking
think
for
he
what
is.
would be his best
Max
Grand Prix result
really
of the
struggling on those tires. He is holding onto the rear end of that car. Dear laugh.
11 seconds behind
Dear
Hamilton,
laugh,
having
like
his
a
best race.
rodeo star, baby. Yo, like when you're doing
careful
things and
everywhere.
you need to hold on to things. No, I'm going to a weird place. I'm not going to do that.
Dropping out. Could mean a number of different things.
Russell just
Julian,
cannot get
remains
Max.
stay
But
to
do
them-
you see what
stay
I
to us
mean
what they
between
are.
Lando
active
and
aero
Russell? Russell has been
potentially,
trying to
moving
overtake
element
every single
in
corner.
three zones of the
Oscar
racetrack.
Piastri looking at
Leclerc using a lot of the
Leclerc.
racetrack
Is he
right
going to
now,
make a
trying to
move
keep
here?
Oscar
I think this
Piastri
is the
behind.
best opportunity. You
sounds
don't
like
have
he's just
any more. It's
losing
the
rear
last
load,
lap.
and if you
Oscar, now
commit to a
is your
corner as if
time.
you've got
Down
it
the
fully there
main
and
straight
it's
we
not,
go.
you're gonna be
He needs a
pointed
good
backwards into
exit.
a barrier
He's
pretty
got better
soon. So
grip. He looks like
battles
he's got a
everywhere.
great
Norris
exit
has got
there. This
24
might be an
seconds to
easy
cruise
overtake for
home
Oscar
second
Piastri.
place. Who
Is he
will
going to
join
do
him
it
in
on
third?
Charles
Because
Leclerc? Oh
this is one of the
no!
final
Charles Leclerc's
chances that
DRS
Piastri
isn't
will
working.
get.
What's
This
happening
one
there?
more lap.
His DRS didn't
Piastri
open.
go for it.
His DRS didn't open.
They are still on the penultimate
And then closed
lap.
again.
The
What
top
happened
two
there?
Find themselves
Oh no!
on the
Charles
final
looked like he lost his
lap of the
his
Grand
active
Prix.
arrow.
Piastri gets by.
That gave
Is there
an
any
easy
energy
overtake
for the
for
Ferrari
Oscar.
to use?
That was
an
fucked up.
attacking
What
stint
the
for
shit happened
Piastri.
there?
Russell versus Verstappen, the left-hand side of your picture
guys,
as they go to the hairpin.
his arrow
At turn
wasn't
17,
open.
does the Red Bull reappear? Not this time. It's fifth
Okay,
place for
that
George
was messed
Russell.
up.
It's third place.
Russell
for Oscar
takes
Piastri,
Verstappen. A lot of
and
changes
it's Kimi
happening in the final
Antonelli
lap here.
heading to turn
Charles
11.
Leclerc. Oh no,
Charles!
Charles!
Spins
Charles!
at the end. Does he keep it out of the barriers?
Charles,
He
what
does.
have you done?
What a dramatic
No!
day he has had.
Charles
a
Leclerc
spin
has
on the
spun
opening
out.
lap, a spin on the final lap.
Spun out on
and
turn
both
3. It looks
times
like
the
he's
drivers
okay.
kept
It looks
out
like
of
he
the
didn't hit the
wall.
wall. He did. He did not hit the
Fantastic.
wall.
He's running
But it looks
wide.
like he's
There's a
lost
big
major
issue with the
suspension
car.
there.
What is it?
Oh my God, Charles! You
Losing
scared the living
positions
shit out of me, man.
all the time. He's trying
Good
to take
God
it
in
back
heaven,
all the way to
dude.
the end.
What are you doing
a
to me?
Grand Prix with action
Charles
all
Leclerc.
the way through.
Fucking hell, bro.
I wonder if he's got a puncture or something.
Woo!
Charles Leclerc, he was already
Okay.
fighting the car as Piastri came back through.
Charles is fine.
Charles Leclerc
Russell
heading
is
to
in
turn
fifth
10. He's
position,
got
overtaking
Russell
Max.
and Verstappen
Very
not
clear
too
of
far
Max.
away from him.
Good job for Russell
But
there.
for
He
Kimi
fought really
Antonelli,
hard with Max.
another
but
dream day.
Max,
If you want the
I
crown,
don't know how he was
you have
actually
to
even
be
fighting.
the champion. The
He's on
test is
50
passed,
laps on
and
those
it's
medium,
3
on those
Grand
hards.
Prix victories
Max is
in
on
a row
50 laps
for
on
Kimi
those hard tyres,
Antonelli.
bro.
Kimi Antonelli
Insane.
wins the
Kimi
Miami
Antonelli
Grand
crosses the
Prix.
finish line to
Lando
take
Norris
the pole
with a
in the
strong second
Miami
place.
Grand
Oscar
Prix.
Piastri
Lando Norris,
will
who
put
just
two
could
McLarens
not
on the podium,
make
and
one
can
move
George
on
Russell
Kimi
get up to the
Antonelli for
back
15
in time
fucking
to
laps.
pass Charles Leclerc, who's
It's
limping home,
unreal,
and I
bro.
don't think he's going to be able to get there in
you
fourth
don't deserve to
position
be there.
because we're on board
Piastri
with
in
Russell,
third position
and he's got the
for the
Ferrari
Miami Grand
ahead.
Prix. Charles
He's the
Leclerc
third
had a
place man.
major
It's
lockup.
Piastri over the
Unfortunately,
line
lost
in
it to
third,
turn
but
3.
who will be
But
fourth?
comes in
Russell
fourth
closing in. He
position.
gets by.
George Russell
And the
did a
final
great
corner.
battle. Oh my God,
Very
is
close
George?
to contact.
Is George going to
Russell
take
tries to
fucking
get the
Charles
power
on the
down.
last
He gets
lap?
past.
George
He goes
Russell has
through,
taken
and
Charles
George
Leclerc
Russell
on the
takes
last
fourth
lap
place with a
onto the
damaged front
finish
wing.
straight.
Can the Ferrari
Unbelievable!
get
His
there, or will
front
it be
wing is
Verstappen?
scraping the
Verstappen
floor.
takes fifth on the line,
George
and
Russell
Charles Leclerc
overtakes
goes
Charles
from the
Leclerc
podium
on
to
the
sixth
last
place.
corner.
Hamilton will be in seventh.
Unbelievable.
Colapinto will be in
Verstappen
eighth,
takes
and it will be
Charles.
points for the Williams pair.
Charles Leclerc
of
has
Sainz
lost 2
and Albon.
positions
They're
in
all
the
behind
final
this man.
corner.
Yes, indeed,
Unbelievable. Oh
to
my
work for that one today,
God.
mate.
What
What a
just
great
happened? What just happened? George Russell came over the finish line with his front wing sparking off the line.
Very exciting.
Unreal. Oh my God, Charles Leclerc just
Well,
lost 2
I think
positions
Antonelli
on the
earned his
final
stripes.
corner.
There's
Holy
his father
shit.
there.
Do you see what
The
I'm
pride
saying?
he
You
must
get
feel,
these
the
lows and then all of a
adrenaline he
sudden
must
this
feel.
insane shit
But
happens on the last
what
corner.
a performance. And I
Wow.
think, well, Formula One was also the winner today. That was a great Grand Prix.
What a race.
Let me have a look at this
Two
again.
hobbled
Charles Leclerc
cars
was
trying to
coming on
fight
the
it through.
inside of Max
Russell with his front wing
Verstappen.
dangling. Leclerc so
Was
this
looking-
is the spin.
Looking to see, I don't quite know what happened to. Oh, he just lost the back. He lost the rear tires. He got very lucky by not hitting that wall, hey. He got super lucky. Oh my god, he controlled that car super well to not hit that wall. Let me tell you that right now, bro. Holy shit. He did hit the wall, but not
A little
hard.
bit of suspension damage on
So
that front
probably
left,
lost a bit of
struggling to rotate
suspension
the
there,
car then.
a bit of control on the
This was
car,
on the
which
back
gave Russell
straight
the
on the
opportunity
last lap.
to attack
George
him
Russell
into turn 17,
trying
but there
to
was a bit of a
measure
hiccup there
what he was up
because
against. We wondered
they
if
were
it was a
lapping the car at
puncture.
the same time. George
Russell
goes on the
deep
outside.
brakes.
Charles hits
Leclerc
his
never
back
gonna give that
rear
up.
wing.
More contact. Front
George
right
goes on the
to left
outside
rear,
again. He hits a bit of
and
the wall.
Russell able to get by.
Oh
and
my
then
god,
watch
then
Max
Max
Verstappen
right
here,
behind Charles
and he's going to
takes him
sweep
on the
by and
outside.
take it on the line.
Yeah, oh my god,
And that is how they
literally.
resolved the story. A fourth, fifth.
Max was a
damaged the
car
front
length
left, so he
ahead
can't
of Charles
turn
when he
right.
crossed the line.
Yeah, well
done. Unbelievable.
How did we not win this? We should have won, guys.
That's a great question. I don't know if Russell's going to get pinged for.
Yeah, well done. Let's keep pushing.
I don't know if Russell's going to get pinged for that unsafe driving, but I mean, it was over the last corner. What can you say there? I don't really know, but wow, an incredible finish to the Miami Grand Prix. Absolutely quack songs, bro. I love it.
In some ways, but
it's nuts.
Great result.
But that is it, guys. That is it for the Miami Grand Prix. I am super appreciative of everyone that watched. Thank you so much. I stream the races live every single race. It would be awesome if you all tuned in. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the stream. I'm gonna love and leave you guys. You've been hearing me for 2 hours and 16 minutes. So I'm just going to leave you guys to enjoy your Sunday. Love and peace.
With action at the start,
I wish you all the best for the following weekend.
And a Kimi Antonelli victory.